Actually, not morning, it's noon over in the east coast of the United States. So, good afternoon. For those of you on the Pacific coast, good morning. For those of you in Europe, good evening. Or shall we just say, happy Saturday to you all. I am Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole, the Saturday broadcast where I broadcast Dragon Age Inquisition until we finish it. This is the place where we play games and then philosophize about the game itself, all of the choices, and whatever else we might think to talk about. I've got to go and turn off the on my desktop. Hey. Oh. Ooh, good brunch time, Jer. Also, International Dateline. Oh. So, I'm excited to tell you something. I have news for all of you battle buddies who are here. Things to note. While we were away, while we were not with each other since last time, I went and did a bunch of sort of noodling around with settings and all of that, and I got the DLC to work. So the DLC is working. It showed up on the map, so that's good. What else have I done? Oh, the other thing I've done since we were apart is I went and I put all of my, I sold some gear, and then I put all the stuff that I was not using in storage, so my inventory is almost completely empty, and we will just have, I feel like we're going to go off into the universe with an almost empty inventory and loot all of the things. I know, just a little bit of brunch. So, HQ, welcome. If you have brunch, do you have... Okay, HQ, I have a question. It's because you're Canadian, and I want to know. Is Canadian bacon actually a thing in Canada, or is that just an American thing that we made up? This is what I want to know. Because I feel like there are a lot of things you can get in the United States that are named after other places, and then they're not really from those other places, you know? Like, English muffins aren't English muffins. So yes, I just have some questions. See? That's really interesting to me. I'm always fascinated by that. I was in, a sort of a fancy deli in, Virginia at one point in time. And so, side note, for this story to make sense, you have to know I'm a native Californian. So, I was at this deli in Virginia, and they had California almonds, and these California almonds were, like, dipped in, I don't know, paprika or something. It was very strange. It was something that I had never, ever seen in my life as a Californian, so I had no idea what they were talking about, and I was somewhat distressed. But that is the life. So, hey, everybody. We have a completely free and empty and open inventory. We can go off and see all of the world and do all of the things, and I'm very excited about it. Also, this is a thing that we probably will not talk about just at this second, because we're going to click on that throne. But, at least I think we will. But, oops. But, Jer had this really... an interesting conversation showed up on the Discord for Lauren, and that conversation's about character progression. We were talking about tabletop games, but I think we can talk about it in computer games as well. It's like, what counts as character progression? What counts as too fast, too slow? What do we think about sort of internal? And this is actually reminding me of a conversation I had with somebody, not any of y'all, but in real life, about plots and character plots. And I was talking about the ways in which my experience of a lot of BioWare games is that because they sort of craft a really interesting character, that I imagine different things, I interpret things that I see on screen differently based on who that character is. And the person I was talking to says, that doesn't really count as anything? Oh, I don't have anything to do here. Because it's not, like, not written down in words specifically. So anyway, just sort of thinking about, he was dismissing that as headcanon, not as real things, where I was thinking that interpreting the things that you notice based on the kind of character that has been sort of built up is, I don't think that of that as headcanon at all. I just think of that as being part of how BioWare makes their games. Anyway, there are a lot of things to talk about that I would love to chat with you all about and see what you think. But I suppose first we should go to the War Council table and see, you know, what is there for us. And I think for the guy, I think he's talking about mechanical things. I think for him, only things that are mechanical on your sheet counts as, or, you know, in the game count as real things, or lines that are written down that you can point to are, that the game gives you, are real things. Whereas, for me, my experience of Dragon Age Origins as a dwarven noble really shaped everything about how I felt about that game. The fact that dwarves do not go off to the Fade, therefore their relationship to religion is so different, or to the Maker is so different, really sort of affected everything about how that game felt to me. And I don't think that that was just headcanon. I think that was about a world being created. And no, it wasn't like they gave you direct lines, but my character had a sort of a personal internal progression that I think was impacted by the game itself. Anyway, this is the Maker is a lie. See, Krellin knows. The Hunter Shade Drascalisk. I have a report. Oh, side note, I'm in New England, and it's spring, so I've got slight allergies going on. So if I sound a little congested to you, or I sniffle, that is what that is about. Let's see, what do we have? The creature has been cornered and saddled. The nippings were severe, but it waits for the Inquisitor to claim it in the stables. Mind your fingers. Wait. What are the spoilers? What are the spoilers? So I get a Hunter Shade. Oh. Elven Gods for the win! Well, I'm excited to find out what this is going to be about. Red Jenny attends a party. Report ready. The report is scandalous. A dowager threw a pie. Red Jenny is somehow credited, but we have received a number of keys to caches of smuggled goods. None of the nobility are objecting, lest they be forced to claim it as theirs. Oh, well, look at that. Lots of money. Continuing research. What do we have? Who's this from? Oh, Helisma Darrington. A formally submitted report. Current progress and findings. Some animals in regions with closed rifts exhibit fewer altered behaviors, but the results are inconsistent. Several anomalies in hunting patterns suggest the breach still impacts local wildlife. Furthermore, some species persist in erratic behaviors. I suspect that both the opening and closing of rifts cause fluctuations in the veil that continue to disturb their natural instincts. Long-term effects still unknown. Studying the flight patterns of local songbirds may yield further results. Additional note, I have forwarded a 50-page report to Commander Cullen outlining ways to counteract aggressive behavior in several species. Signed, Helisma Darrington, Inquisition Researcher. And we get a Master Corrupting Rune. Let's see. I think there's points to both sides of that. There's something about the importance to personal narrative. Cullen was cuter without the fur collar. This is probably fair. Yeah. Without HQ, scandalous. Jer, you got cut off after personal narrative. I want to know the rest of that comment. I'm very interested. Okay, let's see what we can do with sending our agents places. We have gather coin, investigate Frostback Basin, but there's also importance of literal wording, especially when making a multi-game storyline. I think, Jer, what I think is interesting is that I think for me, there's a difference between what BioWare does to create an environment, naked Cullen pictures, that I think there's a difference between BioWare, which I think creates an environment where there is a deliberate sort of crafting of personal narrative, wherein, you know, the way they set up your origin or certain choices they have you make, that it sort of they work to create a personal narrative in your mind, like on purpose. Whereas my experience of, say, for example, Fallout 3 did not do that. I mean, I could make it up myself, but I felt like I was making it up myself with not much going to go on from the game, right? In the BioWare games, they ask you to make choices, like will you save this person or that person? Will you be in this relationship or that relationship? They have all this sort of lore. They have this lore about how various groups are treated and what kind of philosophies are sort of dominant in those groups, and what the implications of those things are. Like, they have things in the lore that impact your personal narrative, and so then I feel like the personal narrative of the game, they were leaked by Apple. So I feel like the game itself is actually specifically and deliberately crafting that. Like, I think that's part of what the point of the different origin stories were in certain ways, to sort of give you a different entry point into the universe, a different way of seeing it, whereas Oblivion didn't do that at all, and neither did Fallout 3. Like, I find that those games don't do that work of being very deliberate in playing with personal... Oh, what does this do? Personal... Minimum suggested level 20. Nope. Yeah, I don't think that they do that, those games. I think that Morrowind did to some point. So I just think it's interesting, right? What do we have here? Who's the collective? We have received an offer of assistance. I'm unnerved, but not opposed. It is not the first strange promise we have received, and likely will not be the last. An elegantly written note follows. The Inquisition has need, and we would provide. We have in our possession a mount of noble spirit, fallen in battle against rage, returned to life by the boundless urge to run and serve a worthy cause and noble master. Prove what your followers already believe, that your reach is beyond this realm, that even the forces of the Fade are your ally, that death is no barrier to victory. The collective. Well, that's a little creepy. Colin will ensure the soldiers will get there safely. Certain inquiries. We'll take every care with such a boon. Our associates will see to it. Yes, let's have Josephine do that. And we have a bog unicorn. Let's see. Completed. Fallow resources available. Not interesting. Completed secrets, hinterland resources, not that interesting. Let's see. Bethesda played with personal narrative back in their, Daggerfall days, and it made for an interesting problem. How do you write the next game? See, this is interesting because I feel like Bethesda would have more leeway to play with personal narrative rather than less, because most of their games are really quite separate from each other, right? I mean, either they're 100 years later or in a different part of the world, right? Whether or not my character was the Nerevarine or not, and what happened with that particular character in Morrowind doesn't really impact people's lives in Skyrim. So I feel like the way that they have done at least their Elder Scrolls titles means that they could do more with sort of thinking about it. But I will say, I think it's actually very difficult to do a sandbox game that engages in personal narrative in that way. I think the writing is, I think it's difficult writing, and I think they did it well in Morrowind, but I think it's not easy to do, and I don't think they did it well in Oblivion, actually, at all. Disaster in the Deep Roads, that's one of the new DLCs. Gather Herbs, what is this? Scout the Storm Coast, Black Emporium, Secrets completed. So I think we're going to go back over to Ferelden and put some people there. Let's see. Let's start up top. Red Jenny and the Bad Goods. In Daggerfall, it made things very difficult as you did things that impacted the world in general. Yeah, I suppose this is just partly... This is a conversation that I've had on some forums for some visual novel forums where I personally do not like true endings to my visual novels, while other people really like true endings. And they say, well, you have to have a true ending or else you can't have a sequel. And I say, well, it sort of depends on... I mean, I feel like it depends on how you write it. I mean, I think about Hate Plus was able to incorporate the different options that you'd made in analog a hate story and still have that work. So I think it's about... I mean, I think it's harder to code. I think it's more difficult. But I think, you just have to be more thoughtful about it in certain ways. So what do we have here? More Red Jenny stuff. Sarah cannot simply vandalize our reports. There is no record of any of this. A memo from Josephine, written on a letter from an outlying landholder. Inquisition leaders, I have reports of a gathering of resources being moved into Venatori hands. I send this with the hope that you have the means to track who may be responsible. I overheard the responsibility, but further inquiry yielded no more detail. It is unfolding well above my station. Sir Gaston of Wildavale. Sarah has scrawled several notes below, also a sketch of a Randy Nug herder. They had to do some weird quantum things to tie all the endings together. Essentially, even though endings contradict each other, they all happened. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I think that depends on what kind of endings you allow and how that works. I mean, I just think that it's a narrative challenge, but one that can be done. I mean, I think, for example, I think there are different ways to do it. And some of it has to do with whether or not the choices are about person or narrative. Like, you can have lots and lots of personal choices that really change who you are. It also depends on whether or not you want to have the endings be sort of... Yeah, I think there's a big difference in how you want those endings to go. Like, I think... So, Mass Effect Andromeda, which I have not played yet, just gets around this by setting it into just a different part of the universe, so you don't have to deal with what happened at the end of Mass Effect 1. Mass Effects 1 through 3 did carry a lot of decisions, but the main ending point was the same. So I think that you can do things where the main ending point's the same, but but the personal choices mean other things, right? Or maybe, if I think about Dragon Age, that war happens, and what happens with the hero of Kirkwall, the champion of Kirkwall, different choices are made, but that's not necessarily the most relevant thing to this game. Like, whether or not the champion sided with the Mages or the Templars, this game is dealing with a different topic, right? It's dealing with this war in general. So I think that there are ways to do it. I think that it just takes a lot of creative thinking and probably a lot of experience. So what do we have? So this is what Sarah says. She says, Squire with a limp says, horses for 20, small force. 3 farmers say they were kicked out of homes. Root? Merchant says the carts are heavy for carrying armor weapons. Says they short-changed him, so he didn't tell about the wobbly wheel. We'll sow them through the pass. Easy pickings, right? That sounds good. What do we have here? Blockading a caravan is small, but provocative matter. Do we trust this information? Liana says, a few altered signs will waylay them in the Vim marks. A trade caravan will have supplies to last. If their stock happens to be mostly weapons, it won't last long. That said, I think Mass Effect did it right. Though many people hated the ending, it was a conclusion that was a necessary conclusion. I totally agree with you, Jer. I also think that the different endings felt different enough to me that I would be horrified ever choosing the red ending, whereas the green ending was great for me, and I know other people who felt the exact opposite. So I do feel like those endings felt different enough for many people. Well, at least they felt different enough to me, and I know they must have felt different enough for some people. So I think that's interesting. What does Josephine say? Buying out the caravan would expose whether it is led by an honest merchant or a conspirator against us. The Mass Effect ending was dumb. There's nothing dumb about it. There's nothing not dumb about it. Oh, yeah, see, I love the Mass Effect ending. I thought it was great. Another friend of mine who also thought it was great...
Let's see what we have.
Also played the game similarly to the way that I did. And so I really feel like the ending might have been really great for certain styles of playthrough. Like the people I know who wanted to destroy everything were not happy with the ending at all. People like So I mean, I will just say that it really felt to me that some people, the way they played through it, they didn't like what happened, but I really did. And a couple friends of mine who also got green endings and who played in certain ways also really enjoyed the ending. And so it just feels like partly about how you played through it, it seems to me, whether or not the ending worked for you. What is this? A friend in Carinus. According to Dorian, while most Venator Magisters are not Venatori supporters, they will also not raise a finger to prevent the Venatori from wreaking havoc in the south. There are some, however, who see the cult for what it is and are trying to expose it. A Magister conflict in Carinus by the name of a Magister contact in Carinus by the name of Mevaris Tilani is attempting to introduce a law in the Imperial Senate which would see Venatori activity sharply curtailed in Tevinter. Dorian suggests that quiet Inquisition support of Mevaris would be beneficial and ultimately could drum up support for other Magisters fearful of what Corypheus represents. That sounds great. And clearly, Josephine, I have contacts in Tevinter, although not many. Still, trading a few favors could help this Magister a great deal. It is too bad that Liliana is in a mission because I think she'd be great for this one, but we'll send Josephine.
Inquisitor?
Right. See, Krellin, I get that you were very displeased, but I liked the premise and I liked the whole thing. I don't know about that, because they're talking about sort of long-term. There's this sort of long-term cycle that's going on, and up until this point in time, they have not coexisted. Now, that's why, in the end, I, as Shepard, chose to synthesize the sort of synthetics and organics to stop the cycle, and it seemed to be a natural extension of all the things that my Shepard had been doing up until that point in time. So it did feel, it felt like it worked for me. Completed. These are some inkling of what it would do, at least. Yeah, I mean, I did green ending, and I felt super good about it. It made me super happy, and I was like, yeah. Synthesis is a ridiculous idea. What does synthesis even mean? Well, for me, it means that that now we are all basically we are a mix between mechanical and mechanical and fleshy, right? That we are a new sort of being that now exists wherein the electronic and the biological are always already existing together. So there is we've collapsed the binary and we're creating this new form of species that had never existed that is always both synthetic and also organic. Right? And that seems super cool, like, ooh, super sci-fi for me. I liked it. Flames of the Inquisitor Charger. We have gathered the attention of the finest armorers in the land, and they would not see our message conveyed unadorned. They offer a mount that reflects the flames of the Inquisition. It is, by all accounts, magnificent. A block letter note follows. We would send our best, and you will know it when you see it. It is much at home in parade as on the battlefield. Let all those stand against you see that they stand against a force, a cause. Our skill is yours, those of the hammer. Let's get that. Oh, we've got new forces. Ice Bunny, how are you? It is good to see you. We are talking about endings and narratives, I think, is what we're sort of doing in video games. How do you sort of create different kinds of stories in games, and how do you deal with sort of challenges in endings? So, Empress de Leon resources, the Red Heart. Let's see what that is. Such is the reach of the threat that the Inquisition has received. Such is the reach of the threat that the Inquisition has received offers from all corners of Thetis. Perhaps this offer should come as a surprise. Should not come as a surprise. A letter in flowing script. We find our kin in strange places, though we know not if you will carry tradition with you. We would see you carry pride in some form, for the wounded sky is all of ours. Whether belief is shared or not, let all see this and convey yourself as we should be. And so, Emisalin va Sulidin Evanura. Oh, okay.
To work?
Not many games you see the end of. Oh, a red heart. I should probably get myself all loaded up with a red heart, since that seems to be a Dalish thing. Investigate the Exalted Plains. Completed. Investigate Hunterfell. Based on... Who's writing this? We don't know. Based on the revelation at Haven that Venatori operatives report to a darkspawn believed to be the Magister Corypheus, threat assessment of possible Venatori has been prioritized as vital. Duke Tethys Pentagast rules the Navaran city of Hunterfell. A former military hero who prided himself on his open-minded attitude, Duke Typhus rules with the help of a secret network of old adventuring companions and possible lovers, as they're all rumored to be beautiful women. Information on the 5 bells of Hunterfell is limited, but they are known to include humans from both Orlais and Ferelden, an elf, a dwarf, and even a Talva Shoth. Known or suspected backgrounds range from escape mortalitasi or dragon hunters to bard, smuggler, and or even apostate. We believe one of the 5 bells of Hunterfell is a Venatori agent working to advance the agenda of Corypheus. Let's send Cullen, since he's the one we have left, to look into that. Okay, everybody's on a mission. We can head out. I get killed before I make it to the end. If I would stream it, it would be called Watch Me Suck. But that itself might be really exciting. You could get some exciting sort of goofy music in the background, and and then, you know, die in epic ways. Yep. I think this is really, you're making a really interesting, I think you're making an interesting sort of thing about status quo versus not status quo. There was an interview with, N.K. Jemisin, the science fiction fantasy author, and she wrote this really interesting, there's an interview with her where she was saying, hello, where, I don't think I need to talk to her right now, do I? Anyway, where she was saying that this fantasy genre tends to be about maintaining the status quo, wherein you have some large threat to the kingdom, to the land, and what the heroes need to do is basically stop that threat in order to maintain the status quo. And she said that the status quo doesn't tend to work well for marginalized people, and so she wanted to create fantasy stories that are not about maintaining the status quo, but about sort of disrupting the status quo. And I have not yet read her work, even though it won Hugo Awards. So, but I am looking forward to it. I want to see what that might look like, and yeah, I want to see what that might look like as how that narrative will work. Actually, I think that we've done all of that.
Let's speak later.
Okay, so, my friends, we have to go off and do some exciting adventures, and I think we should just check our, what fantasies about status quo? Oh, well, they all are, right? I mean, because if you think about, so take a look at something like your typical fantasy story where there's some evil person that wants to open up a rift from another dimension and bring in demons to destroy the kingdom or whatever, and in the end what you as heroes have to do is have to stop that from happening, right? There's always these sort of Well, you can think about Lord of the Rings. No, but I mean, here's the thing. Almost all of them have some kind of external threat to the land, and the heroes have to stop that external threat from the land, right? It's about stopping us from, stopping Oblivion. I think about, I mean, so many of them, right? They're not, by the end, right? We don't end up getting rid of the feudal system. We don't end up upending those hierarchies. I mean, in the Lord of the Rings, we know that eventually we're going to sort of go from the age of the other people to the age of man. We know that that is a sort of a transition that's happening, but we are not ultimately about changing power structures in fantasy novels. I mean, there is a form of fantasy which is about the great old power structure is slowly dying, and aren't we so sad about it? But there don't tend to be a lot of fantasy stories. This in out in thing. Yeah. Isn't that the good win like in European fairy tales? Yeah, I mean, I think Inner Circle favors the first enchanter. It's a bunch of. She wants a bunch of tomes. We can do with that somewhat. Memories of the Grey. Yeah, yeah, I agree, Remshin. I agree. And then sort of rebuilding the Shire, going back to the way that things were. Unfinished business. We need to take down some targets. It's fine. One less Venatori. We need to kill some Venatori. What is this? All new, faded for her. Oh yeah, we should actually go and, oh, that's Exalted Plains. You know what? We're just gonna go to Empress de Leon, because that's where we were last time, and I think we should just continue on with that a bit. Empress de Leon. We have been... I think we had built ourselves up to right about here. Okay. Ooh. Let's have Dorian, my boyfriend, Cassandra the Undying, and then Iron Bull. Confirm. There we go. All right. But the thing is that hey, Techie Carrier, Techie Carer. Techie Carer. I thought it was Techie Carrier, and I was wrong. But I think that, of course, that we're supposed to, as subjects, identify with the age of man, right? Tech. Right now, we're talking about we're going wide ranging right now, and at the moment we're sort of thinking about status quo versus not in fantasy stories, because author N.K. Jemisin made the case that most fantasy stories are about preserving the status quo, about heroes trying to stop some kind of threat to the status that then is overcome, so we can sort of maintain the status quo. And how she's not interested in that, and so she wants to do stories that are not about maintaining the status quo. And Krellin thinks that fantasy stories are not about maintaining the status quo; that they're all about change. Oh, but techie carer, like you care about tech. That you are. Let's see, where are we at in our map? So we've got a bunch of stuff that is hanging out right over here. I suppose we should just head, well, let's head south a bit, maybe. South and a little bit east, and we can kind of sweep around. But soon the age of bunnies caused the cute factor. Oh! Techie carer. Oh! Hey, that's really cool to know. I enjoy I enjoy knowing and learning things. A carer. A carer. So, there is something, I think, about this way that we can get from a way to the old to the new. It's interesting that you think that Death of Magic is the most common story, whereas I find the most common story being, oh, there's an evil bad wizard or whomever who wants to take over the world by sort of threatening the status quo with some kind of, you know, evil demons or whatever it is, and then you as the hero, you have to go and kill the dragon or kill the evil necromancer, and then you're a great hero. Alright, so that's like my experience of fantasy, right? And that maybe if you're going to go from zero to hero, the protagonist gets to marry a princess or something or other by the end. But Oblivion does this, wherein there's a bad guy that wants to open up a portal, destroy the world. So Oblivion is one example. You can also go with Dragon Slayer, the film, was another example, where the heroes have to stop the evil dragon. You can go with, let me see, what else? More examples. Dragon Slayer's a film, by the way. You can also, and I tend to read a lot of fantasy by women where they don't tend to do that as often. But you can go with, let's see, what else? And actually, Star Wars, being sort of science fantasy, also does this. Star Wars 1, I'm thinking. We can also do... What else will do this? Let me think. That's by Ursula K. Le Guin, and that won't work well. There was this one, like The Four Dragons, which is the same thing. That's a book where the hero is a dude, and he has to sort of... Harry Potter, of course. The Worst Witch. What else? But the point is that the dragon is a threat, right? The dragon is a threat to the status quo, and that threat is then eliminated. The point being that if there's something that is threatening the lands and the kingdoms, and the thing that is... you end up wanting to maintain that system rather than trying to change it. So we have, I think, maybe this way. We're looking for, where are we at? No, I think we want to head sort of south. I think we can get there. Whoop. There are plants. And then what else? I mean, if you want, I could go and, because right now I'm on the video game, I could just go and do a bit of, compile a list of stories where we have the great peasant hero who, you know, saves the land from trouble and then is able to, right, like, because it happens a lot. But I can compile an entire list for you if you want. I cannot do it right now because I'm on the video game. But if you like. All right, here. What is here? Where are we? Right here. We've got a lot of ladders. Where I want to get a good 360 look around to see where we are. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Got a shard. Alright, where are... So we're... Upsetting Tower, which I think we're on our way towards. Camp. Oh, there's the walkway that we want to reestablish. So I think we just have to head this way. Out of my way! Alright. Let's see where we're headed. Okay, we're headed... I think we're just heading in. A little bit more. I wonder if this is, what do we have here? Oh, a shard. Great. Nice. I enjoy it, because we want to get enough shards that we can... This looks so unhealthy, all of this red lyrium. Just for the record, it feels unhealthy. Also, it feels like it has radiation poisoning. Which it does. What is up here? Let's see. Anything interesting? No, not really. But... Ooh, look! There's a little tower. I wonder if we've been there already. Alright, here we go. What do we have right about here? Oh, another shard. Huh. Oh, looks like maybe we can actually unlock that door. But where are we headed? Or what is this? Rocky Rescue. I suppose we could keep heading down this way. That would be alright, I think. So, let's keep heading south. Let's head here. Oh, there's a question mark. Absent Disney, where are these stories about getting princesses and living... Well, you know, Disney got all their stories from folklore, right? Like, they didn't make them up.
You should look around.
They usually stole them from the public domain, so it's not like these things come out of nowhere. Let's see, I think we have to maybe... So it looks like... Oh, they changed many of them, that's true. Usually they took out some of the violence. Well, it looks like I can't get on that side just yet. Like, yeah, I mean, usually these things are more violent than the Disney versions, and that is certainly true. A bit more deadly. Ooh. Visibility is not so great. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Oh, it does! Yeah, she dies and is miserable. But Cinderella, or Aschenputtel, is a bit more violent, but it's not like Cinderella just ends up being dead. Okay, let's go through this area. I want to figure out how we can get into that tower over there. Oh, hey. Let's kill that person. There we go. There we go. Yeah, fairy tales are often a little bit creepy, actually, in terms of how they treat outsiders. Very punishing. Alright, what do we have here? We have... Ooh! We have someone to save and rescue. No, don't worry. We'll help you. It's alright. I'm opening the lock.
Red Templar lieutenants are in the quarry. This won't stop until they're dead.
We was AFK for lunch reasons, but do want to say I agree with you a bit, Krellin. LOTR isn't entirely so simple as status quo maintenance. Den Lille Havre is not a folk tale. H.C. Anderson made that up. Yeah, folk tale is from the oral tradition. The ones punished in Cinderella are the insiders, the ones who are most normal, the most ordinary. Cinderella's stepsister... Oh, you see, here's the thing about that. I don't think you can make this case that the sisters are the status quo and she is not, because she's also a noble, right? She's not actually like a poor peasant who's going to upend in the system, and the goal of that in the end is for her to get married to the prince. There's no sort of getting rid of the status quo. She's incorporated into the status quo. Sure, bad members of that caste, pretenders, right, sort of strivers, are punished, but she is not a peasant girl, and in the end, what is maintained is that the monarchy is an important thing that you want to be a part of. There's not a challenge to those systems in any kind of a way. It's all about her, like, she wins by becoming part of that system and becoming part of the status quo. The status quo, the system, is maintained. Like, you might change, oh, she gets to be part of the system now, but that's not actually a challenge to the system itself. That's just adding her to the system. Okay, so we saved them. Where are we at now? I want to see if we can maybe get... I wonder if we can get into this tower in some way. I don't know if we can, because there was a fence, but... See, it looks like there's a fence all around. I don't know if we can get to the other side of that tower. Yes, please do. Please do. Say as much as you like. I cannot get over this wall. Yeah, there's got to be a way to the other side, but I think it's not something that I can get to from here. I think I've got to go around the other way. But that's okay, because we can go... There's a bunch of stuff down here that I think we might be able to get access to, so we're going to try coming back to this, and then heading south. Generally speaking. But ask away. Ask away, Ice Bunny. I love German questions. Sind total cool. Let her home. Dell, it's over. It's done. I got him. I'm going back to my old camp to pick up the letter I left for you, and then I'm leaving this horrible place. I don't have to skulk around anymore, hiding behind trees and erasing my tracks. I'm free, and I'm coming home. Diane. Oh. I want to know who Diane is, and what that is all about. Oh, so that's a huge, drop-off that doesn't look like a... Let's find another way around here. Since that... We don't want to jump off that cliff. That would be really unfortunate. Do you know that film? Oh, Drei Nüsse für Aschenputtel? No, I have not actually seen it, I'm afraid. Is it good? I haven't seen it. I have seen... I have seen Dinner for One, which is an English language film that is not actually popular in either England or the US, but is very popular in Germany. We're going to do a bunch of killing of things right now, and hopefully it will all be really good. Oh, there are a lot of things to kill. But it's okay. We'll just we will kill them, and it'll be fine. Oh. Slow going, though. Who is this person and why are all of my friends trying to kill them with me? Oh, finally, there they go. There we go. Yeah, no, I don't know it. I hope it's a... Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so, fun fact, Dinner for One, for those of you who don't know Dinner for One is this, sketch. I don't know how, like, maybe it's like 15 minutes, maybe? Anyway, it's a sketch that is played, like, every New Year's in Germany, and it's all in English, right? It's an English language sketch, but what is so funny about it is that all my German friends are like, oh, well, you must know this. And I was like, I have never seen this in my life. I don't actually think this thing is popular, and, like, none of my British friends know it. So it's this kind of funny, I wonder... Oh, look at this. Caves. Yeah, so it's a funny sort of thing that's really popular, an English language thing that's popular in Germany, but we don't actually know about it.
They'll turn us into those things.
Don't worry, we will save you. It's alright.
Have you looked everywhere? They took took so many of us.
Oh, Norway shows it over Christmas as well. Ah. Oh, that's so interesting. I mean, I personally am fascinated by that. When I was in Germany, there were a number of sort of bands that people assumed were American bands or in some ways popular in the United States, but they were not. And I found that also very interesting. And the bands themselves sort of frame themselves as being, like, sometimes they actually were Americans. But again, not popular in the United States in any way. And I just found that really fascinating. I mean, of course, the obvious is Hasselhoff. Ooh. Fiddler's Green. You know, the Kelly family, I don't exactly know where they're from. I think they're from Spain, maybe? To confirm, yes. Who's this? Who's speaking? General Samson. To confirm, yes, I've heard the reports. The Inquisition is on the rise, but they'll be a toothless hound once our master deals with them. We stand between the enemy and Curtius. He gave us what the Chantry never would do, a second chance. I don't want to see a single man let him down. Sow the lyrium. Let it follow where we walk. Take root where we settle. Never forget that your footsteps, yours, mark Curtius's path to victory. General Samson.
I found a letter from Samson himself.
Where is this thing? Well, it's funny. There's something that we've got to get, but I don't know where it is. Let's see. Maybe it's around here? Oh, there we go. Work orders. Guet. We need more villagers. We've gone through the miners already. Weaklings. Get the rest from the most recent list. I don't care if the village is running out. No one will miss them. Ew. They from all over the... Yeah, Bravo made them in the 90s. Yeah. See, the thing is, I don't know if the dad was from Ireland, if they just wanted everybody to think they were from Ireland. Like, the Kelly family are a strange bunch, is what I'm going to say about that. So it looks like our bad guys are kidnapping villagers and then turning them into... you know, they're infecting them with the red lyrium and destroying them and being horrible to them. And so maybe we should just go in here and save them, I think, is probably what we should do. I think we should save and try to save them. I think I don't have links enabled. People can't really post links. I don't know if Jer can post links. Jer might be able to post links. I'm not certain about that. But oh, the Kelly family. Their big song, their big hit that I remember was
Break the locks, please.
Oh, don't worry, we will save you. Oh, hey. There are bad guys everywhere in ways that are rude, that I do not appreciate. There are a lot of bad guys, but we're gonna get them. It's fine. No, that's okay. It is fine. Does it? Enemies are everywhere. I'm not being paranoid. I swear it's true. There are enemies everywhere. All right, let's see what we have here. Let's save these people who are being rounded up to be sacrificed in horrible ways.
They took so many of us.
Oh. But 90s are techno for me. Yeah, 90s for me, a lot of Eurodisco. Like a lot of that particular kind of Eurodance sound from the 90s, that was my 90s. I was all over, I was in Germany at the time, and I was going to clubs in Munich, and there was a lot of and it was great. Let's see. Oh, I think we're gonna have to go up that way, maybe. All right, let's do it. Let's climb up and see what's going on. If we can find people and save them, I hope. Maybe? This is I feel like our bad guys aren't very nice. You have to go into stream settings and enable links there. Right now, both Twitch and Nightbot. Oh. See, okay. I will... Ooh, letter. Mayday and Love Parade. Oh, I was thinking, Sometimes I Wish I Were an Angel, that one. I will go both into both, because I think I looked into Nightbot, but I will go both into Steam and also Nightbot. No, both of the two, and I will look. To Paxley. I've seen the transformations. It's a horror to watch your soldiers' faces change, to realize they might not remember you day to day. It's a sword in the guts. But the ones who make it through are near invincible. Feed elf fruit to the soldiers hurting as much as they want. Beyond that, it's just waiting until they stop feeling pain. Remind them to spread the lyrium. It grows at our touch. With the materials I've sent, they'll grow enough for 12 armies. It's proof we're on the right path, that any suffering is worthwhile. Remind them. Samson.
A note from Samson about spreading red lyrium.
Yeah. Seems like a bad idea. And not good. There is a place to claim, but I suppose it's up there somewhere, maybe. What do we have here? Climb up this ladder? Oh, the Kelly family. I think also that the band that did the Lemon Tree song, what were their names? Fool's Garden? I'm pretty sure they're a German band. So, somewhere around here is a thing. Maybe it's, Oh, yep. It is red lyrium to destroy, which we will do. Oop. There we go. And now we're gonna... Oh, hey, Iron Bull. Now we'll head back up and go across that other direction. I feel like there's more things that we can get in this area, but we started... Ooh, look at that. We started over here. We will continue going this way until we, you know. Oh. Hi. Oops. I need to do that, and this, and also, you need to get away from me. I'm not interested. Oop! I fell. It's a funny thing. Earlier I thought that the chat was just pre-show, then realized no vid was playing. Oh! What happened? I have to... Because we've been here. We've been like, you know... So we're in a not great space when it comes to our enemies. That's alright. Oh! Oh, big bad guy. Do not like. But I think we're good, right? Okay. I'm a little injured, but that's okay. I can just take a potion and we'll be fine. It's alright. But let's save these people. No, we will. It's... No, we're here for you.
Have you freed everyone?
I don't know. Have I? I actually have no idea if I have. Also, why are you still hanging out? Leave. Get out of here. That would be my suggestion. Don't stick around. Alright, let's see what we have. I do think the Empress de Lyon is an interesting area. HQ said, watch out, it's high level, which I think that's probably true. That does not look to be like a tower we can get into. Oh! The philosophy of the ghost in the shell. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna... Remind me once I get... You don't have to remind me. I'll just try to remind myself that I'm going to see if we can... I'm going to go and look into these links and see what we can do about this, so that people can post them. Or at least Jer can post them. I will look to see what we have here. There is a thing that I'm looking to get access to. It's a nice looking tower. But I'm looking for... Where was it? There's a... I want here. I want to find this landmark, and I want to be able to access it. And I'm just not quite certain how to do that. Well, let me try.
Corypheus hope to accomplish? Dorian, you must know.
Let me guess, because he's Tevinter.
Well, you have better insight into the Tevinter mind than anyone else here.
Darling Cassandra,
Ooh.
Corypheus is from a Tevinter that's been dead and gone 1,000 years.
Ooh.
Whatever nostalgic vision he's selling, it has little to do with my Tevinter. Or his followers, frankly.
Well, I want to... Okay, well, I want to see this link about Hegel and Ghost in the Shell. That's really interesting. We have not walked this way. Maybe this will get us exactly where we're wanting to go. I think it will. Yes! Alright, we'll claim it. Sarnia Quarry. I took a quick tour around the quarry in Sarnia, famed for its azure granite. The owner of the mine, Albin Poulin, proudly informed me that 500 blocks of stone from that very quarry were used to tile the bathing chambers of Lady Montillon's summer estate. From A Journey Through the Dales by Lord Horace Medford, Adventurer. Unfortunately, it only shows up as a deleted link in my chat. Okay, I'm going to have to look into this. I thought that I had fixed that in Nightbot, but apparently I have to fix it in both. So I will do that. I will do that when we finish stream today. I will look into it and figure out how to fix that. We're looking to go south and then maybe a little west. So that is my homework, is to figure out ways to enable links. I think they probably have them off by default so that people cannot spam all over the place. This is what I am imagining. Okay. I do appreciate that we are slowly but surely trying to stop. We could post. You know, I've been, I just don't know about Discord. I have mixed feelings about it. I really do have mixed feelings about Discord. I don't like always what happens in Discords. They make me unhappy sometimes. I find that, yeah, I don't know how I feel about them. I'm very mixed. I have very mixed feelings about Discord. And what does it mean to have a Discord server? And what they do, and what function they serve, and what functions they don't serve, and the ways in which, oh! If Jer can do that, then he should do that. Alright, we're going through this area. Yeah, so I just want to say I've got very mixed feelings about, oh. Oh. Hey, you all have such great excitement. I'm very excited about this. Hello, friends. How many villains do we have? Okay, here we go. I think we're good here. Because I was not seeing our villains for a moment, for a hot second, but now we're back in. Okay. I think we've got a lot to loot. I will just say, the Kelly family, they are a trip and a half. Yeah. So yeah, there were just a bunch of German bands who sang in English, and people didn't necessarily know that they were German. was a thing that happened. I wonder how I'm supposed to get... Oh, probably this way, in some manner. Complicated. I'm trying to figure out which direction will get me where I want to go. Because I'm curious. Yes, but we got Jer up. Jer got it so that Krellin could post the link. So I'm very pleased. Thank you, Krellin, for posting it. All right, we have a lot of stuff over here to loot. Let's go around this way. BTTV. This is an add-on, right? But only for certain browsers. There's some sort of excitement about this that I am not all that up on when it comes to it. Like BTT gives you stuff, right? Like yeah, I also don't have BTTV because, like Jer, I'm also a pleb. But I do want, like, is BPTV browser specific? Is that what it is? I feel like there's some sort of thing about it. I don't know. I cannot even say. So there's a lot of stuff that is all in this area that we haven't gotten to, and I'm worried that we will forget it. But we'll come back down in here. We won't forget it. We will try not to, at least. There was something else. Yeah, right? I think that's what it is. I think it's only available for Chrome, and I don't use Chrome, so I have not really thought about BTTV all that often. Oh, also Firefox.
Please help me.
I just want to loot this first. I will help you, but I want to loot first, because, you know, I'm that way. Infected woman.
Please help me.
Are you all right?
You don't seem well. What's wrong?
The red crystals, I can feel them at the tips of my fingers, beneath my nails, under my eyes. I know what happens.
Oh.
I have a letter for my love. Would you place it in the hollow of the marked tree by the river? When he returns from the war, he'll know to look there. Let him hate me and move on.
Oh, well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, lady. But we will. Don't worry. Letting you out. Oh, do they really? Okay, well then I will look into it. It's just an add-on, right? It's just a... I don't know if I freed everyone. I imagine that I haven't. I imagine there's still more people to free. Also, I really think I need to look at the map so I can figure out where I am. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so we've traveled around this area. There's still stuff over here, which we can get to, but there are people down here and here. So I suppose we can try heading south, but some of them we couldn't get access to. Generally speaking, it looks like we need to head south. Well, that's cool. Which we're not doing. This is a huge, sort of slightly confusing quarry, I will just say. Nope, sorry. I was just about to walk off to my doom, actually. That would have been really bad. I don't really appreciate walking off to my doom. It would have made me sad. I use it mainly for the dark mode CSS, but the emotes side is good. Huh. I have a question, Techie Care. What is dark mode CSS? What is that? What is it? What is it? I feel like I'm going to learn something exciting. Okay, I think we can try... let's try... I don't know if we can get here through there, but... let's see what is available to us. Oh, another walkway. Yes. All right. Oh. Well, question. Should I just walk off this cliff? Okay, we're gonna walk off this cliff. Nope. Wait. There, go. No. That wasn't good. I tried, because there's a thing there that I need to get access to. And... Oh, that's cool. Let's just try going in here. Maybe this will give us something interesting. I think it's good to give people more options. So I feel like this was a part we've been to before, maybe? I think we have. And it's taking us away from this quest area. Alright, let's go back through. So there's a thing that we're looking for. It's that little exclamation point mark that is somehow calling.
Let us out!
Oh, don't worry. Here you go. I will let you out, person with fake French accent. No problem.
Have you freed everyone?
No, it looks like I've got one more set of villagers to save. That's what the numbers tell me. There was something else I was thinking about that I wanted to bring up that Jer was talking about that I think is really interesting. And it is about what we think of as character progression. And on Discord, Jer had said that it's not just levels that count as character progression, but also just like your personal story and character growth. And I wonder, I'm not disagreeing with him, because I'm a person who cares very much about character growth. It's something that I find important to my gaming experience, and by character growth, I mean your actual character, like who you are as a human being, and and what kind of character you have. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that is interesting to me. I want to know, if my person has become harsher or more forgiving, more loving, all of these sorts of very internal things. And I think that, I was very sort of interested in this one character that I was running for a long time, progressing, and by progressing I meant becoming less of a bigot. Because I was playing a kind of a bigoted character, and I wanted him to progress in his personality. And for me, this counted as, this would be character progression. But I think a lot of people wouldn't think of that as character progression. They would think of whether or not he got new skills, or new levels, or new gear as character progression. But they wouldn't think of as, whether or not some internal thing happened in his mind as character progression. So I want to know what you all think about that, because I actually agree with Jer that is a thing that is character progression, but it often isn't a thing that is marked by mechanics. And I was thinking about this person I was talking to was like, oh, that's just headcanon, that's not real. And so I want to know what you think about character progression, because I thought that was a really good point that Jer had brought up on Discord, and I'm really interested in what people think about it. Well, one would think that if you grow, you are progressing in some direction, right? Or no? How would you think of the words differently? That's what I would like to know. Yeah, in an RPG, yes. Yes. Although, Ice Bunny, although we were talking about tabletop, I think it also could apply... I suppose it could apply to computer games as well. I want to know your thoughts on this. And Krellin, I really want to know what you think about the difference between progression and growth. That's interesting. So let's see. Because can you grow without progression? Can you progress without growth? How are those things different? And when I ask you this question, Krellin, I am not doubting your statement. I'm just wanting to know more information, because I don't know the answer myself, and I'm interested in hearing your answer. Written confession. Who's confessing this? Lewis. Okay. I will not survive this. I saw what the Red Templars did to the others. Progression is about progress along some path, typically leveling or skill trees. Growth is expansion, which is personality traits, which may or may not Krellin, finish the comment. Which it's definitely easier to have personality growth in a tabletop RPG, at least if you have the right GM and players. Yeah, I definitely think that people in my game group may not have thought that way initially. I have a rogue who was the power gamer of the group, but may not be mechanical. Yeah, I feel that what you're saying, Krellin, feels right to me. Right? It feels right to me to sort of make a distinction between progression and growth, wherein you can have personality, character growth that may or may not be mechanical, and then sort of tying progression to mechanics along a path. That does feel like it makes sense to me as how to use that language. Oh, very nice. See, I do think this is interesting about growth versus progression and what we think about this. And for those who are not looking at the Discord, one of the reasons why this conversation came up, and this is something I think is really interesting as well, is about the idea of whether or not you're progressing fast enough, right? And then you think both fall under the umbrella of advancement. Oh, I like that too. I think that's really nice to think about advancement as the overall category, and then you can have either progression or growth, or both, or neither. And part of this discussion was how fast you progress and like what fast progression is, and people feeling like games are not progressing fast enough. And I'm interested in what that means. What does progress? If somebody says this game isn't progressing fast enough, what do they mean by that? And I think in the context we were talking about people who felt like they weren't leveling fast enough in a level-based system. But I suppose it could also be the idea that you don't think that the story is progressing. But I know some people who, if the story's progressing but they're not leveling, they feel like nothing is happening. And so I think this sort of idea of what do we think about progress? Like what does fast enough or good enough or enough progression mean in a game? And how do the game's mechanics sort of impact what we think of as fast progression being? Yes, that's the thing. I want your thoughts on that, because I think that is also interesting. And of course, I think it's personal, right? Some people will think some people will think that this is slow progression, while other people think it is fast progression. So clearly there's also a bit of relativity in there in that moment as well. But I also think, and this is something I'm interested in, I think the mechanics also impact how people think about progression. Right? If the game has levels, then people think they should be able to get levels, right? And that's going to be how they mark progression. Whereas if a game doesn't have levels at all, then your idea of what progression is might be different. It depends so much on the context, of that statement to me. It can mean my character power level isn't going up at the same pace as your comment cut off after same pace as that's where it cut off. I will not survive this. I saw what the Red Templars did to the others. The red crystals, they get in your flesh and they change you. You lose yourself, then you die. That is to be my fate. I pray Lynette does not mourn for me long. I don't deserve her love. The world must know what I have done. I won't go to the grave carrying this weight. I killed Lynette's brother, Gard. He told he was going to fight for the Empress, but he never intended to do so. He was going to run away to Ferelden. I caught him one night looking in our bureau for Lynette's jewels. He meant to take them and leave forever. I tried to stop him, but he fought back and I killed him. I never meant to. It was an accident. Make her forgive me. Andraster grant me his strength, Luis. As the same pace as the challenges I'm facing. Yeah, okay. Devil Korean, this is so interesting. Close. This is really interesting because that statement, which... like facing locks are too difficult to pick, right? So this is what I think is so interesting about that.
These mountains are the perfect place for an ambush.
Okay, I will be wary. That statement is so interesting to me, Devil Crayon, because that also implies a certain kind of mechanic. It implies a mechanic wherein the challenges will always be scaled to what level you are, right? So that if you are level 2, you're going to go up against level 2 locks. If you are level 5 you'll go up against level 5 locks, and that you shouldn't be going up against level 10 locks when you're level 2, or level 2 locks when you're level 10. And this, of course, I think is best personified by the challenge rating system that you got in D&D 3.5. Or if you want to think about RPGs, Oblivion, I think, basically scaled everything to... Yeah, exactly. Scaled everything to your... So let's see if we can head this way. We want to head south and a little bit east and see what we can do there. So everything, in Oblivion, everything was scaled to your level. But that is one philosophy of how you would sort of put things together. And in that philosophy, everything should be scaled. But that's just one way of thinking about it. I think... Right, but also, I think of verisimilitude, right? So, I remember I was running some game, because I tend to not scale challenges to my players. I tend to make challenges as they would exist in the world, and then have the players, I think I've been here, and then have the players decide what they want to do about it, right? So I remember there was this, oh, that would be interesting. Yeah, well, see, that's also true, Krellin. That's also a really good point. So I was running it sort of like a... What was City of Heroes' take on this? I played City of Heroes briefly, but not a lot, so I don't remember. I would be interested in hearing what they did. There were certain enemy groups that you faced throughout the entire game. I'm sorry if I'm looking at the map a lot, because I'm trying to figure out how to get... it's a kind of a big, long, and confusing map, and I'm trying to get to different places. I will get there, but I'm just going to be looking at the map a lot. As you progress in levels, the enemy types that used to be bosses would become lieutenants, and then later minions. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. This way you get a sense of... Right. So, this sort of comes into this thing I was thinking about, right? So I was running this game, and I tend to run... in a simulationist style. So, yeah, I think that's actually very cool. And actually, this is part of the thing that I was thinking about, right? That if everything always scales up for you... move to a care home and they want... Oh, I think you should pick up, I think, there are a lot of sort of really interesting, simple systems. I am a fan of the Warp system. It's by Atlas Games. It's free. You can pick it up for free. So if you go to Atlas Games and you look for Warp, W-A-R-P, you will get the system. It's based off of, ooh, what is this? It's based off of their, Over the Edge game. It's a pretty simple system. It's not it still has a kind of a traditional, it's not a sort of like a new indie style game necessarily. It has a traditional feel of RPGs where you have a game master and you have players, and that particular dynamic is retained rather than the sorts of games that minimize that relationship in favor of sort of more shared narrative stuff. But I really like that. I really like. It's one of my go-to systems. I will. It's one of my go-to systems for really fast sort of games, but I still feel like it's pretty deep.
We can all go home now.
Did you really, Devil Crayon? That is so cool. That is awesome. I am very excited about that. If I can remember, so in that game, each player has four qualities, like 4 attributes, as it were. You have one central traits, I think they call them. One central trait, and that trait describes the sort of central thing about you. So, for example, that trait, and you make it up yourself, right? This is read. Spirit has everything based off a D10 with 6 stats that you control what you do. You just roll a D10 and your stat and compare it to a GM set. Same con, also got to play Amber. Oh, that's so cool. Klimt. Who's writing this? Who's this from? This is from Knight Captain Fournier. Okay. Klimt. Lieutenant Courtrai isn't feeling well, so I must rely on you to handle the lady from the village. Set aside some basic supplies, flour, dried peas, blankets, any coin you can spare. Either bring them or have them brought to the grove of trees at the fork of the Elf's Blood 2 nights from now. Make sure no one sees you. Mistress Poulain should be there. She'll give you a list, people we can use in exchange for the goods. Bring the list to me. Oh, and lean on her a bit. Kurto's got a soft heart and lets her get away with things. Her lists have been getting shorter, and she recommends folks who are old or have some hidden ailment. We take them as they don't survive the seeding. Useless. Tell her she comes up with something good, or we take everyone. Knight Captain Fournier. Going to disappear for now, Trooper. Oh, okay. I will see you later, Techie Carer. I hope we get to see you soon. So in Over the Edge, you have traits, and so you sort of pick up your central trait. Like, so if maybe my central trait could be gunslinger, or my central trait could be drunk socialite, or maybe my central trait could be what else could it be? It could be a lot of anything, right? It could dashing rogue, or It's your central trait is often your job or your archetype. Oh, ow, oops. Often, but not exclusive, not only sort of your job or your archetype. And then you get to pick, but it's sort of very broad, so it's sort of like a more general thing. And then you pick your sort of side traits. My trait is God. Well, you'd have to talk to your GM about that, and maybe they'd figure out what that would mean. And there might be games where that's totally appropriate and also a little complicated for your life. There we go. Exalted. And then you get side traits, which could be something like tough, or like these are more narrow. Could be a skill, like helicopter pilot, or it could be like a quality like smooth talker. That's the sort of the thing that you're looking at. And then you get to pick one negative trait that you are not so good at. Let's look at this quest map for a moment. What are we looking at? Okay, I think we're good. That you're not good at could be like cowardly or quick to anger. Whatever it is, you pick the thing. And those are the basis. That's like then you've got to get your hit points and whatnot. But basically, that's your character, and you go from there. And it's very fast. I believe it uses multiple die, so that you have a bit of a bell curve, which is excellent. But I think I've used it before for quick games, or for games where I don't want to do a lot of prep. And it's pretty rules light. I recommend that one. I quite like it. Oop. Okay. This is good. What are we looking at? Loot. Yeah. So I was thinking about so Ger, I just want to I know I'm name checking you, but you inspired a lot of thoughts in my brain, and so I really appreciate all the thoughts in my brain that you've inspired, that I was like, ooh, we get to talk about it. So exciting. Ger is good. Ger is good that way. I was thinking about proscriptive versus descriptive character advancement. Or shall we say progression? Let's say progression. Yeah, Ger's awesome. So I was thinking about prescriptive versus descriptive. And some of this is in the rules, and some of this is how you manage it. But for me, both Call of Cthulhu and GURPS, depending on how you run GURPS, have a similar situation where their character advancement is what I would call, we're going to go in that cave, but first we're going to go up to the side. And we're going to save. Sorry, save. Or what I would call descriptive character advancement. So, for example, in Call of Cthulhu, you cannot put points to increase skills just because you want to. Like, you can't be like, oh, I want my character to be a pilot. I have some points. I'm going to put them in pilot, and now I'm a pilot. You can't do that. You basically only get... I mean, there are ways to gain new skills. This is true, but you have to do them in character. But basically, you advance skills because you used them. And if you use the skill, then you advance them, which means that when you look at your character sheet, that advancement is a description of things you've already done, right? So if you look at the character sheet, you will see all the things that you have done already in the game, right? Successfully, the ways in which you have navigated the world. That is not where I want to be. Let's go back up. In the same way, when I run GURPS, I give you character points, but you can only then spend those character points on things you've done in-game, right? So if you have been fighting a lot in-game, then you can increase your fighting skills. If you... Oh. Well. Look at this sort of interesting
Better
piece.
hike up your skirt, mage boy.
I'm not wearing a skirt.
You trip on that bustling whatever. Don't come crying to me.
Okay, we have a piece of architecture. Let us see if we can figure out how to get up there. Or, like, if you've been training your strength, then you can up your strength. Right, that sort of a thing. But generally speaking, my sense is that I enjoy it when what you've done is... What is on your sheet is descriptive of what you've done, and your advancement is a reflection of concrete things that you have done, right? Whereas I was thinking about D&D, which I think is more proscriptive, i.e. things that you want to do, right? So you level up, and then you get new powers that you have never used before, right? So I feel like the idea of you're leveling up as a new step to a new thing that you've not done before versus leveling up. See, look at that over there. Like, I want to get into this building. This is where I feel like I need to be. But maybe we have to walk around. We're going to get there. It's going to be cool. Versus, right, so I think that the difference between leveling up as descriptive and leveling up as proscriptive. And I think those two differences of thinking about leveling up, character progression, character advancement, is really interesting. And, like, which ones do you like? And if you have played things that are one or the other, what you think about it, I'd be really interested in knowing. Because that seems like an interesting sort of set of mechanical differences that impact then how you see what you're doing in the game and how the game works, and that seems also very interesting. And I'd love your thoughts on it. But I do, and what's interesting is I think that if you're doing descriptive... Let's read this. Work orders. Oh, it's Fournier. The boys at Solidaire need several barrels for those things they're working on. Also, prepare a batch for the Storm Coast. Fournier. I wonder, what creepy things they are preparing. Bottles of Thetis. Legacy White Sheer. Peculiar and rare, a single run of this spirit took color and what has been optimistically called flavor from lyrium in the case's bilgehoop. A sipping whiskey if you value your innards. Circa 790 TE. The Call of Cthulhu method doesn't work for me because it pigeonholes you. It forces you into doing only what you've already done. And that's already my real life. Well, no, you can learn new things, right? I mean, my character, just in the most recent game, does not... A Viking woman in some sort of freeform... There have not been any levels. So yes, my character does not know how to pick locks. He knows he's a locksmith. Well, he's not a locksmith. He can work on watches, and he can sort of mess with machines, but he doesn't know actually how to lockpick. And so there was a person in the game we ran into who is a bit of a thief, and I asked him if he would teach me how to open locks. And so he did, and he used his teaching skill, right, to sort of try to teach me how to do locks, and that then gave me the beginning of this new skill. So you can get new skills, certainly. I think you just can't get them without any kind of, without having done it in game, right? I think that I couldn't just say, oh, I want to go and pick up some lockpicking, and then just pick up lockpicking without having done it in game. I think that's like a bit of a difference. So now that I have the lockpicking skill, I can remember that moment when I had that conversation with Frankie, the sort of the enforcer's guy, and how that moment then meant something or did something, and how it reflects that particular character. But it is then sort of tied to a sense of character progression. It looks like there's a lock, and I don't know where that lock is, because I don't see a lock anywhere. A freeform with Viking levels, that is also interesting. Yeah, so I think there's like just different ways of thinking about it. Oh. Okay, there's some bad guys running around, maybe? No levels. Yeah, I mean, oh, hi. I play a lot of games that don't have levels either, actually. At least not in that kind of traditional sense. I mean, I have also played games that have levels. I can do both. But I have played a lot of games that don't have levels. Oop. There are little wolf guts everywhere. So there is a... Oh, hi! We've got wolves everywhere. That's okay, we're gonna kill them, and it will be fine. And everyone will be happy. And... boom. Yeah, I think it's interesting, like, are you playing a game that has classes? Are you playing a game that has levels? Are you playing a game that has neither classes nor levels? Oh, there are a lot of things that we can be running around killing right now. What have we got? There we go. And what do the existence of classes and levels, how does that impact your experience of progress in a game? What do the existence of, maybe not classes and levels, but maybe skills or not skills, how does that impact your experience of the game? Like, these are things I think are interesting. Where are we? Oh, I think we've been here. Yeah, there's a locked door, but I gotta tell you, I do not see this locked door. I don't see where it is. I mean, we can walk this way and see if we see it over here. But I'm just telling you that I did not see a locked door. I like the idea of descriptive leveling, but there has to be a system in place that doesn't make the process of learning new skills tedious. Well, so this is, okay, so here's an interesting thing. What does it mean, right? And this is where I think we get into sort of like personal, right? Personal tastes. Like, what does learning new skills being tedious mean, right? I think about what people think of as being tedious. Some people really like resource management, and they don't find that tedious at all. They just find it so exciting. Other people will find resource management exceptionally tedious. Maybe this is the locked door. I don't know. But then again, some games don't even have skills at all, right? So skills are not even an issue. Yeah. I'm thinking that maybe there actually isn't a locked door here, is what I'm thinking. Oop. Yeah. And I think... yeah. This is a thing that I think is interesting. Like, do we think that... Alright, let's head this way. Which will be this way. Around, I think. Yeah, like I know that some people, for example, really dislike encumbrance rules. Like they find encumbrance just really tedious. They don't want to do encumbrance. They don't like it. For instance, Morrowind, if you want to learn a new weapon, you have to swing it at an enemy with doing little to no damage. Then, of course, Morrowind also links skill with damage in certain kinds of ways that are interesting, which people may or may not do. Like there are different ways of thinking of that one. Like you could put those things together differently. Yeah, so for me, I like the way that skills scale in GURPS better than the way skills scale in Call of Cthulhu, mainly because Call of Cthulhu is running off of a percentile dice system, and that I find where your skills are often quite low, and so you might be an expert on this thing, but then not be very good at it for a really long time, and I find that not as satisfying. With GURPS, I think you know better what your skills are, because it has a... how do I get over here? This is my question. Because you have a bell curve, because the numbers are only between 3 to 18, you have a much better sense of what your skills are and where you're at. And so if I'm going to be competent at a thing, then I'm going to be competent at a thing, I'm going to know it. And I appreciate that about it in a way that... Now, I find that once you actually get high enough, your skills are high enough Well, see, here we are. I wonder if we can't get here unless we go around. This seems like it'd be a big deal. So I think we probably have to go around up this way. So let's pop ourselves over here and then get potions, and then try to hang out towards the west and see if that will get us there. There we go. Hello. Equip potions. We're good. Call of Cthulhu enforces playing through your training time, while other systems make the training more abstract. I don't know, it felt pretty abstract. I basically said, hey, Frankie, I want to learn how to do lockpicking. Will you teach me? And the game master said, he takes you aside, he brings out some lockpicks, he sits in front of the hotel room door, and he shows you how to do it. Make a roll. It wasn't, I enjoyed role-playing it, so we had a bit of fun. Talking about it quite a bit, but you could very easily just fast forward. You're like, you found a trainer, he gives you some training. If you're not interested in RPing any of that, I think you could very easily just hand wave quite a lot of it if you weren't that interested in doing it in a sort of a RP character-based way. You could just sort of basically say, oh yeah, my character did it, and then you've done it, So I think that, you could go deeper RP on it, or you could do less deep RP on it. You could spend more detail on it, or you could spend less detail on it. I think that just the point is that it does actually have to be done, it has to be happening in the world. Yeah, sure, right? Because I like the idea of not being like a master lockpicker when I didn't know this skill before. If you want to play a game where your player can just pick up a brand new skill and be an expert at it, I don't think that Call of Cthulhu would be the game for you. And maybe actually that's not the game system at all. If what you want is to be able to say, I want to go from not knowing a thing to being an expert at a thing immediately and automatically, I think you just pick a different system that is going for a more cinematic feel, right? Because that's a sort of a more a cinematic feeling about how the universe works. And Call of Cthulhu is not about that sort of cinematic mode. It's about a sort of a, see, look, there's a thing right there. Maybe I have to go around. For me, I think it goes for a slightly more realist mode, and it goes, We need a montage. But like, most of the more abstract systems do technically have rules or guidelines for training and training time, but not enforced the same way as COC. But I suppose as a GM you can just say, here are 50 percentage points, you can just have it, right? It is, and it's about sort of average everyday people struggling, right? And but I mean, I think that you could, if as a GM, what you want is to be able to just be like, hey, I want to be really good at this thing. You can say, okay, we don't even have to. I'll just give you lots of points for free, and you can just put them wherever you want. That's not really how the game works, but I mean, I think you could certainly do it. But if what you want is to, how do I want to go there? We'll see if we can head down this way, if this will take us somewhere. I don't know if it will. I suspect it won't. But we can see if there's a turn off to the left. I mean, so for example, I like to run GURPS a bit more incrementally, with progress that sort of is descriptive of how you've advanced. But I could very easily just say, hey, I could give A, more character points than I usually do, and once I give you those character points, I can say you can spend them on whatever you want, and get as good as you want, as quickly as you want, right? Like, I could very easily do that as well. And so, why are there people's bodies here? This seems very distressing. Let's read this. Do not touch my pyramid. Oh. Okay. Let's just loot your stuff then instead. Yeah. So I tend to like a descriptive, incremental way. I enjoy what that feels like. But on something else. But I want to say enjoy. Oh, thanks, Crit Witch. I appreciate you being here as part of the conversation.
I always liked mountains.
Yeah, I know.
You know where you stand.
Oh, you can't see chat. Oh. I try to read what people are saying in chat, so at least you know what's going on. And why do I read it out loud? I suppose I don't have to. Yeah, I think we have to go the other way. Although, what is this? Place the woman's letter, cage confession, and quarry conjury. So there's stuff up there we can do, but I want to get there. The reason why I'm reading things out is because maybe erroneously I feel like people may not be able to read the chat window if they're watching on a PS4. And maybe they can. I don't know. But I just thought it would be polite. Yeah, like, thanks, Devil Crayon. I mean, I think it's interesting. And so I will say that if I were playing a cinematic, if I were running GURP cinematically, I tend to run it a bit more realist or sort of heightened realism. But sometimes I run cinematic. And when I do run cinematic, then I have no requirements that you have done something at all in order to get the skill. You can just get the skill. And I have no limitations on how many points you can spend on getting that skill. You can, and I will also give more points. So you can get a whole bunch of points and all of a sudden go from being an urchin who can barely read and write to being an ace fighter pilot if you want to in one session, because it's all cinematic and it's fine. Who cares, right? And so you can certainly play it that way. PH! You are here. So you can play it that way, and sometimes if I'm running a really cinematic game, I will use those kinds of progression rules so that people can, just be like complete badasses and not worry about the logic of it too much, and also go much more fast, go more quickly, go quickly, progress quickly, not have to worry about anything like that. Was there hey, Artie Snack, the healthiest of snacks, also the most artistic of snacks. You were at a barbecue and they were having coffee, and it was, oh, yeah, hang out with the battle buddies. Yay, it is so good to see you. I hope your barbecue went well. So right now, just so you know where we are, there's all this cool stuff over there, and I want to figure out the best way to get there. And that is not obvious from where we're at. There's probably some sort of means that I have not yet discovered, but we will get there. And we're talking about progression in RPGs, and what we think about it and how it works and how the mechanics change the way we think about it. Oh, I love good healthy barbecues. That is really good. Hey everybody, I love seeing all of the battle buddies. It is excellent in every way. We're gonna just loot a lot at this moment as we think about it. So yeah, and I think this is actually also about what kind of desire you want to have, right? And what things you like and what things you don't like, whether or not the game is supposed to feel cinematic or realistic, whether or not it's supposed to be larger than life or less larger than life. And I think there are a lot of different ways that are all very valid to do that. And I will do different things depending on the system, actually. But I will also say a thing that I think is really interesting about progression. This is related to our discussion of progression, is how do you start? Yeah, just see, PH, I tend to like smaller incremental progress rather than sort of like big bursts of progress. But I know there are people who just do not like that at all. But I was thinking about competency as being another element to think about in the conversation around progress. So, one of the things I liked about when I moved from D&D to GURPS, because that was like that big move that I made back in the 80s, I liked that when a starting GURPS character was competent and was not going to die immediately, that I felt like I was able to create a starting character that made sense in the world about me. And so then, because I already started off competent, I didn't feel pressed to progress really quickly because I was already at a good space. I could already do... Like, I already was the person that I wanted to be. I could be more than that, but I started off competent. And this was a real contrast to first edition D&D, where a first-level magic user could be killed by a house cat. Do you know, like, that could happen. And it wasn't even necessarily out of the realm of possibility that you could be killed by a house cat. So... I understand that when you're, like, when I was playing D&D First Edition and I was a magic user with 3 hit points and only 1 spell, and who was generally just especially incompetent about being a human being, I could just barely exist in the world. It was terrible. I really wanted to progress to get to a point where I wasn't completely incompetent and useless. It was, you know, that was like a big thing. Trying to get to a space where I did have some sort of, I don't know, usefulness. But if your game doesn't start you off at incompetence level, and then I don't know whether or not the feelings of the pressure for progression work the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a thing... Yeah. And so I find, for example, although I do very much enjoy Call of Cthulhu, I find that starting characters of Call of Cthulhu start off a tad too incompetent for my taste. Yeah, that's right. I mean, right. This is exactly right. I want to be able to... Tower of Bone. Gang, we are circling around the places that we want to be, but we are not at them. And the question is, how do we get to the places we want to be? They are all right over here lurking at us, viewing us, taunting us. But they are not... We are not there. Alright, maybe we're going to go back to this Tower of Bone, and maybe that will get us there. I don't know. We're going to see. Yeah, I think it's interesting about what kind of progress do you want to have, and how that works. This is actually a very good question. Or how many times it was changed to make it more phallic. I'm not going to judge. I don't know. So, for example, here's a question that I would like to ask you all to ponder, and I'm going to ask it, and I will also ponder this question at the exact same time, and that is, how would you feel about playing a game where you started off being as competent as you were going to be, and there was no character progression mechanically or in that way. So, for example, I think it would have to be a certain kind of genre of game. Like, you'd maybe want a game... The Tower of Bone. Little Mermaid Castle. Maybe. And here we are back at our camp. Alright, let's look again. Here's our camp. So here is where we want to be. We want to be here or here. But the question is, how do we get there? Is there another route that will get us to be in that space besides the one where we're at? I'm going to take one more look off to the west, and if I can't get there, I'm going to pop up north and see if we can come around in a different direction. East, west. Yeah. And what I was thinking, this is DAI, Mountain Climber Simulator. The most amazing mountain climbers in the world. What I was thinking about is that there are genres, well, but it might... See, the thing is, it may not have to be narratively short. I'm thinking about entire genres where the characters don't mechanically... Like, they don't necessarily develop, right? So I'm thinking about, they don't learn new skills, right? And they are already really good. Like, I'm thinking about, well, I would think maybe personality, relationships, and then also just story. Yeah. So, for example, yes. So, for example, there are a number of superheroes who don't actually gain new powers. Like, they have all the powers they're going to get. I'm heading the wrong direction. I want to be heading this way. My life is so sad. They have all the powers they're going to get already. They just have different stories going on, right, about them. Or maybe there are, like, swashbucklers. Maybe not swashbucklers, but, like, pulp heroes that don't really go through a lot of progression. Kind of iconic and archetypal sorts of, characters where they're just really good. Like, I mean, yeah, and if you can make Batman be interesting, I'm sure that there are ways in which you can make a game... He did! But then they also did a lot of power regression because they had too much stuff, right? So there's something interesting about... because I can see, right, I can see a story of, you know, your Doc Savage and heroes trying to stop the world from the bad thing that's happening. And, you know, you guys already have the skills. Or even somebody like, what's his face? Sherlock Holmes, right? Sherlock Holmes tends to be... or bad. Yeah. Sometimes the stories are bad.
Oh? Were they not responsible for keeping peace with the mages?
And what would you say if one judged Tevinter solely on the actions of some of its magisters and slavers? Yes, let us dismiss your homeland as not having a single redeeming quality. The Seekers failed, without question. But the situation was complex, and you well know it.
Fair. Right, so I think that, so I'm just, like, now, please note, I don't think I've played a game like this before. Yeah, Hercule Poirot, Sherlock Holmes. I think that there are a number of systems where the heroes are already super competent. And guess what, my friends? I think we can't get there from here. I'm going to try popping up here, coming around, and seeing if this other part of the map might get us there. So let's do that. Okay, but Doc Savage are novels, and
nothing to report, sir.
Agatha Christie also makes novels, right? So these are full-length novels where the hero goes through some sort of adventure, and then they are very good at what they do. So the challenge is not them gaining new skills. Like, that's not the well, yes, but that's also a very valid RPG style if you're doing an investigation style. Oop, pardon me. I think we're wanting to head west. I think there are things over there. Yeah. Well, you know, you can certainly play that. You can certainly play that game. Yeah. So I just sort of think that there are ways in which. Hello. I want to talk to her. Oh, but I think but see, it doesn't even have to be a mystery. It could just be, I mean, there's so many genres, like basically adventure genres, right? There are a lot of adventures where the heroes don't progress because the heroes already sort of already fully formed, right? You can do swashbucklers where the heroes don't really progress because they're already really excellent swordspersons. You can do pulp novels where they run around punching Nazis in the face, but they don't progress a lot because, in terms of skills, because they're already really great Nazi punchers, right? I mean, I think there are a lot of genres where, especially in the, especially if you want to get into the 30s, when our sort of kind of internal obsession with sort of, you know, a kind of progress. You lied to everyone.
You lied. You knew what the Red Templars were doing, but you took their gold and stayed silent.
Yes, I took their gold. Gold and any supplies they would give. All so we could live. There are many orphans in Sarnia. Who protected them when their parents were lost? We couldn't run, not with the river frozen and the demons. If I had said anything, they would have killed me too. So I let them take people, and prayed that one day, someone like you would come destroy them. All we could do was survive till that day. Now it's come, hasn't it? I was right.
Wow. Okay, so our Madame Pilon was sacrificing people in order to, quote-unquote, save people or hold things off. People died because of you. That was a big risk to take. Practical. I would not say practical, my character. That most of the examples would be narratively short or less, or at least contained a single novel as a finite story. Sure, but you know, a lot of RPGs also are series of closed narratives, right? Well, yeah, but sure. But those trilogies have, like, each of those things have a beginning, middle, and end. Let me think. So, if you take something like, I mean, you can, you know, you could take, you could play a game where everyone is already a prime runner and they're at the top of the game, and you just keep doing runs forever, right? I mean, Shadowrun is mission based, which can allow you to have basically no need for progression in terms of skills, and just do that for years and years and years and years. And actually, you know, quite a lot of RPGs, they may go on for years, but may not actually have big, large, overarching arches. Especially if what you do is you just go from dungeon to dungeon where there's no sort of big meta narrative. So I mean, that certainly is a mode of play. And I'm also thinking now, I have run spy RPGs. Learn how to woodwork between runs. But then you can just say, sure, you can woodwork. Right? I mean, if you want, like, if it's not actually, if that's not important, you can just say, sure, you have it. Go ahead. Be a woodworker. Espionage, right? Espionage is another genre that's sort of like mission-based, where if you wanted to, you could all be like really good James Bonds who already have the skills they need to be good spies, and then they run off. Again, right, cinematic style. And then they just run off and they do lots of missions. So what do I say here? People died because of you. That was a big risk to take. I think I personally would say people died because of you, but I think my character would say that was a big risk to take because he's a spy becoming an assassin. I think that's what he would say. I don't think I would say that, but I think he would say that.
What if you had lost?
The thing about gambling, Inquisitor, is that occasionally, winning it all stops being the point. Instead, all that matters is winning enough to stay in the game. Those who died would have died regardless. This way, at least some survived.
This is true. He and Ice Bunny, I see that you are saying saucy things. I'm going to take your comment as a saucy comment.
What else do you want?
No, we're fine. I think that just that this idea of progression is one that I think there are a lot of genres where the people are relatively the characters are relatively fixed and not and they don't actually progress very much. Give him the letter.
It is your confession. Do with it as you will.
Bless your heart, Inquisitor.
He was alive. All this time he was alive. I didn't even tell.
Yes, regression is really interesting as well. Because, okay, regression.
Thank you for freeing us. I never thought I'd see Lynette's beautiful face again.
Huh. Alright. So Call of Cthulhu, of course, is a game about regression. Right? That's fundamentally what it's about. It's about your character slowly going mad and dying. Interesting. So, right, so you have the madness mechanic in Call of Cthulhu where you slowly go mad, and it's really hard to get that back. No, were written in the 1950s when Europe still had rationing, so they had some nice food. Yeah. But you can also read that in a dirty way. And then hopefully dying. Right, yeah, right. So you can have a sort of space, you can easily have a space in Call of Cthulhu where, like, Call of Cthulhu is sort of based around sort of fighting regression in certain ways. So GURPS does have regression mechanics tied to age, and there are other systems that also have age-based regression mechanics. The only tricky thing about that, I find, is that campaigns don't tend to last narratively over 50 years. Like, sometimes they do, but very often those age-based mechanics don't even come into play because you don't, like, it doesn't actually come up in game, right? And so having these age-based regression mechanics, if you're not going to play a game that spans multiple generations that way, do they actually even matter? Well, I mean, it's nice to have them there, but do they actually come up in game? And one of the reasons why I think about this, or I bring this up, is because of there is Ian Fleming wrote 14 books. In RPG terms, that would probably be a year of gaming, each story about 3-session arc. Maybe. I said, yeah, 3 to 4 sessions, maybe. I suppose that sounds about right. But of course, the thing is that then there are films being made that place. Words not hollow. Then there are films being placed that that sort of add on to it, and you could just basically infinitely just make an infinite number of Bond adventures, right? You could just go on for years and years just doing the same thing in different kinds of ways. And I think some people would be excited about it. I suppose you could also do the same thing with Old West stories. Basically, what I'm trying to say is this: that while we are currently enamored of serial progression-based sorts of ways of thinking about characters, serialized storytelling was all the rage for episodic storytelling was all the rage for ages and ages and ages. And in a lot of those sort of episodic ways of telling stories, which could go on for years and years, characters didn't necessarily progress so much, and people were still excited about those stories. And so I could imagine crafting an RPG experience that modeled that kind of literature, where it isn't so much about character progression, but just about going through these sort of stories. Yeah. Kingsley Armis then took over Bond and wrote 16 books, which moved Bond forward to the 80s. It was kind of of a reboot and restart. Hello, Muppet Aphrodite. It is so good to see you. How are you? It is so nice to have you here. We're at the moment having a deep conversation about character progression in RPGs and whether or not you need it at all. What would it look like to have a game wherein there is no mechanical progression? Right. That's certainly what we're currently pondering. What would it look like to have a game that doesn't have mechanical progression of a character, and thinking about sort of earlier narrative models wherein it wasn't expected that your character sort of progressed. So, like, what would that look like? What would that be like? But that... Oh, thank you. But where you start basically hyper-competent, and then you sort of explore that mode. And what would that look like, and how would that be interesting, and what would you do with that? That is currently what we are pondering. Oh, that's really interesting. We're actually also talking about regression. Oh, hi. Oops. I was thinking about unknown... Well, I think in some ways you can think about maybe unknown armies and also vampire. Right? Because if you think about vampire, you have that humanity stat, and you're trying...
Not the most idyllic mountainside, is it?
I think what I would say is it seems to me that horror games deal with emotional regression more than the other games that I've seen. Right? So, oh yes, if those of you who are not following Muppet Aphrodite, you should 100% follow her. She's amazing. She's an amazing streamer who runs Shadowrun Sundays at the very minimum, and she also plays in Corporate Sins on Wednesdays on Hyper RPG, and she's amazing. So yeah, so Call of Cthulhu has sanity loss. Werewolf has the humanity stat that you're trying to hold on to, but you lose humanity by doing horrible things to people. And Unknown Armies... See, I'm trying to figure out how we're going to get down here. Let's go here. Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. The better you do, the less you disintegrate. Or we're leveling... See, that would be interesting. Leveling up becomes... Wait, I feel like there was a game that did something like that. That when you level up, you gain... What game was it that I'm thinking of? Or... Wait. Oh, my goodness. There's something about this where their age... Was it Traveler? Was it... What was it now? There was a game where you have basically age levels, and if you take a certain age level... That might have been Call of Cthulhu, or Trail of Cthulhu? Where if you take a certain age level, it will give you increases in like basically wisdom and intelligence, but will decrease your physical stats. And so there are these like bands, age bands, that your character can be placed into. One, either just by starting, but also two, you can be placed into them by aging into these bands, in which case you get increases in some skills and decreases in others. So that is certainly a thing. I do remember that being in some games. Oh, and Unknown Armies also has a variety of mental gauges, they call them. They call them madness gauges, like isolation, violence, a bunch of these gauges that you can lose basically sanity on these different kind of existential personality gauges. Yes, and actually that's true. Darkest Dungeon also did, as a game, sort of psychological regression. I think in terms of physical regression, there is aging. I'm also thinking about games that have mechanics for, what would you call it? Crippling, right? Sort of different kinds of disadvantages, wherein you can gain disadvantages in play, right? So that you can then end up becoming, you could lose a hand, you can lose eyes. And so we can look at Cromwell, right, in Corporate Sins as an example of somebody who's physically had some kind of physical regression in some sort of a way. Oh, you quit You quit Darkest Dungeon. This is interesting. Hey, look! See, I really feel like there's gotta be some way to get over here. And I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I don't have it yet, but I know there's a way in there. So, are there ways to sort of track injuries in that way in a game? Oh, yes, that is right. Yes. Ooh, good point, Devil Crayon. There is this sort of essence, humanity sort of thing that can also work in regression, that can make your life difficult in certain ways. So I feel like there are games, but then again, if you think about Shadowrun is also sort of a dark, is working on darkness in a certain way. So it's running on sort of dark tropes. And so that's really interesting. Also, by the way, you are all distracting me from trying to figure out how to get where I need to go, but I'm loving this conversation. And I just want to get to this keep, which I know is around here somewhere. Let's see. Let's look at our map. We're back up here. We want to get here, but there are mountain ranges all around here, which are frustrating. I wonder if Cromwell will retire, or if he will go somewhere else. Massive Chalice is built around having successive generation, so you have characters that start strong within age and eventually die. And so, your comment cut off after "and so" Artie Snack, so you should tell me what happens after that. What we're going to do, my friends, is we're going to go back to the what do you call it? The war table, because I did see some Emprise de Lyon things on the war table, and maybe we have to unlock them in order to get there. So let me have the second half of your comment. Oh, thanks for the conversation, Devil Crayon. It was wonderful. Thank you, and I hope to see you next Saturday. So how your progress is deciding which heroes to find houses and have children with. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. I feel like, actually, you know what? There's another game, Houses of the Blooded. It's a tabletop RPG by John Wick, and he sort of designed that to be an anti-Dungeons & Dragons. I haven't played it, although it might be really interesting to run it and see what people think about it. Wherein, see, that's really interesting. So in Houses of the Blooded, I don't think I read the whole thing, but there are some combat rules, but that's not the main thing. The main thing ends up being about social, right? So like social elements, but also domain management. And you go through seasons, and people age, and so then there's also issues with, like, I believe that is also one where you have age regression. And that because of the ways in which each turn is more or less like a season, that you can go through many, many years in a campaign and actually sort of age forward and also sort of create alliances and have children and sort of maintain your domain. And so I think Houses of the Blooded is one where sort of age regression, as opposed to, I suppose, also age progression, can be a thing that happens. So that is something I think would be interesting to look at as well. Let's see what we have here. The caravan we misled into the mountains surfaced after their food ran out. Their supplies of weapons and armor were ill-suited to travel. While their intended benefactors remain unknown, we've assuredly denied them, thanks to Sarah's friends. Huh. Nice. We have... Imagine your first character falling in love with someone with bad genes, right? I mean, so I think it's really interesting. I feel like it would be fascinating to actually run Houses of the Blooded one of these days. Like, basically, what I want to say is there are a lot of really interesting RPG systems that are experimenting with different concerns and issues and emphases, and I would love to play all of them or run all of them just to see how they work. Like, I would love to run House of the Blooded. I would love to run Shadows of Esteren, which is a French RPG, which I picked up fantasy, but also sort of like a horror fantasy game, where this one is really interesting. You have 5 stats, like your 5 main stats, But the mind stats are things like aggressiveness, or they're kind of like qualities, traits. And you rank them 1 through 5, and if you are number 5 at aggressive, that makes you really good at combat, but that also makes you really aggressive, and that's not necessarily a good thing, right? There's an interesting, I see you, Jer. And then, like, if you're at 1 in aggressive, that might make you good at some things, but not good at other things, and so these traits, whether or not they're high or low, have both a positive and a negative about them, and they're sort of, they also, like, it's not strength, it's not dexterity, it's empathy, it's aggressiveness. It's these sort of like qualities, and that seems to be an interesting system that could be right. Like that's interesting. And I kickstarted that, so I actually have the Shadows of Estrin stuff, and I'm interested in doing some, like doing a one-off or something on it and seeing how it works. A letter to Commander Cullen with information on the apostate. "Oh, all I can say for certain about the apostate is that when asked why she had not joined the circle, she declared that the chant of light was for humans and meant nothing to her. I hope this information helps." So let's continue these investigations. An excerpt from a Ben Hassrath information report. "We still have neither race nor background information on the Venatori agent in Hunterfell. The Bells are effectively nobility in the city, and information about them is protected. We have confirmed that Tal Vashoth, whatever else she may be, is not a mage. Whether she is or was one of Duke Tythus' lovers, she now appears to be in a relationship with the smuggler." Liliana says, "An Orlesian woman in Hunterfell might have a fondness for items from home. Perhaps I can find out what she wants. Let's send our spy in." Let's send our spy in. And now we just need to send, we need to send Cullen on something. Waste resources, investigate the Exalted Plains, Empress de Lyon resources. Here's an interesting idea, especially for RPGs that span small timelines. Skill retention. Oh, yeah, there is an optional harsh realism rule in GURPS for skill retention if you have high skills, that the higher your skill level, the more difficult it is to maintain them. So that's certainly out there. But again, it's also about whether or not you want to spend the resources doing that, and some people do not. Some people do. Well, I want to send Cullen somewhere, but I don't know where. Let's go over here to Orlais, and let's look at this. We're in Emprise de Lyon. Restore Judicale's Crossing. Yeah, if you're a doctor and IT guy. Who's saying this? This is Duchess Nicole de Valmontaigne. Okay, so here we go. Ambassador Montier, we, the members of the Orlesian Society for the Protection of Historic Architecture, would like to draw your attention to the deplorable state of Judicale's Crossing. The bridge was constructed in 856 Blessed as part of the festivities surrounding the first anniversary of the coronation of Emperor Judicale I. And for nearly an age, it has been considered the greatest triumph of Orlesian engineering. Now it lies in ruins, shattered by monstrous rebels of the Templar Order. You cannot allow this grave injustice to stand, Ambassador. The crown is too involved in its civil war to properly care for historic landmarks, but the Inquisition will surely come to the aid of the people. With hope, Duchess Nicole de Valmontaigne. It's been I'd be a lot easier to stay up to date. It'd be a lot easier to stay up to date if companies weren't constantly hiring H-1B workers instead of letting locals have a few weeks, months. In another hand, at the bottom of the letter, Cullen, we can handle this, please. Can we handle this, please? I'm receiving 19 of these letters a day. Josephine. So let's send our Corps of Engineers out there to fix that. I think we can do that. Restore Judicale's Crossing. Commander, repairs to the damaged bridge at the Judicale's Crossing are complete. Although we ran into some complications. The workers were spooked by sightings of dragons flying around the site. So we brought in Tamar for extra security. She did a good enough job, but next time I think we'll call in anybody else. That woman doesn't just frighten dragons. That woman doesn't just frighten dragons, if you know what I mean. Captain Mathis. Would you like to gather your party and venture to Emprise de Lyon now? Yes. Yes. We will do that. Although I'm concerned. Not necessarily skills you already know, but new skills. Instead of magically getting a point in something, you see how much of a skill KS. Jer, finish your comment. I want to know more. You must gather your party before adventuring forth. This is apparently true. They just don't hang out with me on their own some. Muppet Aphrodite, are you going to stream today? I know you don't normally stream on Saturdays. I'm just wondering. Oh, retain through practice. Hey, look, we fixed Jittakale's Crossing. That doesn't help us get to that other part of the map that we, still have not gotten to. But I suppose we will eventually. I'm concerned we're all going to die drastically tomorrow. Nice. I'm looking forward to... Oh! Muppet Aphrodite, I have to tell you something. I cannot come to your stream tomorrow because there's a Game of Thrones card game competition tomorrow that I'm going to go to, and so I won't be there for your stream, and that makes me very, very sad because I was looking forward to it. But, oh, that's so cool. Will you say hello to them from all of us chuckleheads? That would be... Oh, are you gaming today? Or are you just having a lovely brunch? Hector, in his time of dying. Who's saying this? Lord Adamar Gard Hote, Royal Historian. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's very awesome. I hope you're going to watch like something really, really cool. And by cool, I mean either something super ridiculous or something super high quality. Either way works for me. Hector is one of the Chanter's anointed. In Andraste's time, he was Lord of Navarra and one of the Prophet's most loyal followers. According to some Olesian legends, when Matharoth betrayed Andraste and Teventer captured her at Hector's stronghold in Navarra, Hector leapt to a defense and was shot full of arrows. He survived long enough to see Teventer's soldiers drag Andraste away. In this particular depiction, Hector appears as a young and handsome man lounging in a position many consider inappropriate to the depicted subject. Some have decried the statue, arguing that Hector seems to be greeting a lover rather than grieving the betrayal of his prophet. From the Highlands of Orlais by Lord Adamar Gard Hote, Royal Historian. Oh, Miyazaki, very nice. Handcuff them together because they're awesome as a team. Oh, that's funny. Miyazaki is always a wise decision. Now, if you don't mind me saying, I want to see this. Oh, so this is our scandalous statue. Also, did you all hear a dragon? I heard a dragon. I heard dangerous. Yep. I'm hearing dangerous things, people, which is making me feel a little nervous. To $5 to handcuff them together? I don't know if they want to be handcuffed together, although maybe they do. I don't know. I can't say. Dargon! Dargon! Like, look, Ooh, hello. I discovered some things. I just want to say for the record, I feel like there are Dargons over there. I feel like we've got some Dargons trying to go and threaten us and, be a little bit of threatening. I don't like it. Well, maybe the dragon will just be friendly. Oh, hey. Something bad's happening. I don't know what it is, but something bad is happening. Hey, I think we're all gonna die, everyone. Let's save. That's right. Dragons, bring out the shotgun. We're gonna stop these dragons. Oh, and look, it's a dragon. All right, everyone, we're gonna go and try and fight a dragon and see if that will work. And I don't know if it will, and I'm nervous. So that's all. Dying sounds fun. Dying is super fun. Who doesn't like dying? Everybody likes dying. Oop.
A dragon. What a perfect way to ruin our day.
Dragon. So first, I want to hit. I do have potions, and this is true. Let's send a jar of bees after this dragon, because I feel like dragons love jars of bees. And right, that's great. And then let's see what else can we do. Let's pause for a moment. Oh, it's got one scale missing on its chest. Well, that's interesting. Let us see. You've got some lyrium. You've got healing. And you should just take your big thing. Oh, hold on. I don't want to be him. I want to be me. Ooh, you know what I can do? Hold on. I can use my special awesome power to do this. Let's confirm. So ooh. How? Oh. Hi, dragon. Front right leg, front left leg. Lots of legs. Oh, I don't have any black arrow. I just walked over here and said, hi, how you doing? Without knowledge, you know. I just showed up. Probably unwisely. You know, just to like, oh, and considering, how low in life I am, you know, it could be a problem. Could be a problem. So, I've got some friends who are dead. Oh, and the friend I have dead is Cassandra. That is no bueno. Cassandra, where are you? Where's your dead body? Cassandra? Where did you go? Dorian? Oh, there she is. I'm going to go and save her, if you don't mind. Cassandra, wake up! There we go. And then, Cassandra has a potion that will heal people, and you should heal us. Well, she's up. She's awake now. She's okay. It'll be fine. Where is this dragon? Oh. Okay, so, where's the dragon? Oh, there it is. We'll be fine. She was just taking a nap. Do you think this is going to work out well for us? I feel like, it might not. I'm a little worried about this dragon just sort of being around and throwing ice. Is there more than one dragon? I'm seeing 2 dragons flying in the air, and this makes me very concerned. I'm very concerned. Okay. Dorian's not doing well. Dorian should take a potion. And, I feel like, yeah, this is Vorgal the Frigid Doom, which is in no way appropriate. I don't know what is super vulnerable with that. We've got a lot of... Let's just go with that. And, yeah, let's hope that works out. It doesn't look so great. I've been chilled. But I can break out of that chill. It'll be fine. I like that I can be far away and not, you know... Oof. Cassandra, why are you not going over there? Okay, that's good that you are. I don't want to go over there. Ooh! Oh! Ow! Hi! we're a little dead right now. That's awkward. Cassandra, you should wake up the rest of us. You should, yeah, you should do that. That would be great. Revive! Revive? Oh, nope. I just want to point out, this was our very first full party wipe. I want to point it out. We had it. We had our first full party wipe. It was very exciting. I don't think that we should fight this dragon right now. I think that maybe it's a bad idea. I think that we are not high enough in power to fight this dragon, and we should not do it. We should think that dragons are our friends, and just, you know, be friendly with a dragon. That's no, Krellin, you were not wrong. You were very right. So Mark, there be there are dragons on that map, and we are going to sort of think about them, and we're going to attack other things, other exciting things that are not dragons. And that's what we're gonna do, because that's more exciting. We're gonna kill horribly messed up creatures that are messed up with lyrium, and that, you know, are less bad for us. Also, seriously, Iron Bull. Yeah, extraplanar beings. They, you know, whoa. I just want to point out, we need to pause for a moment. There's a lot of death happening. All of my friends are dead. Dorian, will you do me a favor, and will you wake up Cassandra? Will you revive her? Please do. That would be great. And maybe I should put a jar of bees on all of these people. That's what I will do. I just want to point out that we are not in the best of positions right there. Did I actually use my jar of bees? I did not. Oh, everybody's dead but me. Wow. Less good. Less good. Uh-huh. Yep, less good. Not goodness there. Actually, it is badness. There may be a way for me to, Hi. Yeah. It's not good. Not good. All my friends are dying. I'm not happy. And, really not good. Bad space. I would like my friends to be alive, but, they are not. And I'm also dying again. That's really bad. Oh. Let's talk about the difficulties of my life right now. Yeah. This is super bad. Yeah. Super bad. And, I'll just take this last potion and try to kill that thing. Okay, I got it, so I'm thinking that we might be able to survive this. Maybe. I'm not 100% certain, but, you know, just for the record, in case you want to know, I'm working on this creature, trying to kill it, but all of my friends are dead. I got it. I want you to know that I was able to kill those people by myself and save my friends. I feel very proud of the fact that that was not easy, and it was full of death. But I did it. Oh. Wow. And they're super wounded right now, and they're looking really bad. I think we have a camp near here somewhere, don't we? I think that we should go back to here and rest and put back potions. This is my feeling. Hey everyone, I'm Trooper SJP. This is the academic foxhole where we hang out with our battle buddies and talk philosophy about the world and games. And sometimes we go to places that are far above where we are qualified to be, and then we die. I mean, these are all things that sometimes happen. That's just a thing. Alright, so here's the thing that we really, really need to do. We need to figure out how to get... Let's save. Let's save right there. I want to figure out how to get to these areas. Like, there's this whole zone right here, and I don't know how to get there. I'm going to try one more time, heading west, and seeing if that will... if we can make it. I don't know. I want to sing the song... I want to sing... For some reason, I want to sing... Laverne and Shirley. We're gonna do it. Give him any chance, we'll take it. Give him any rule, we'll break it. Oh, hi. Did we just stumble onto it? I think we might have. Accidentally. So, that's cool. I would like you not to attack me, because I think it's rude. I think we just found it in some kind of weird random way. Which, random. Sometimes I just don't understand how we walk around and then not see a thing, and then I just think we find it. This is something that is really a little bit beyond my mind. I don't know how it works. I don't know how we couldn't find this, and now we just found it, all obvious in front of our faces. But that's cool. Yes, this is exactly what it is. You geek the mage. Critwitch, I think you're right. I think that if you sing Laverne and Shirley, we're gonna do it, then I think that's exactly how you find where you want to go. And now the next time we're having a... Is that a dragon? The next time we have a hard time finding anything, we just have to, you know, sing Laverne and Shirley, and we're in it. Fisherman's Lair. Who's saying this? This is Hooknose. Okay. Oi! Wormface! You know our usual spot under Judy's Crossing? I was there fishing 2 nights ago when the entire thing came down. A thunderous noise like you never heard. Maker must have been watching my sorry behind. I don't know how I got out of there alive. It was those damn Templars. I told you it's something shifty-like about 'em. Anyway, I was picking myself up when I saw something glittering in the rubble on the shore. I would have gone and looked, but those Templars were poking around what was left of the bridge, and I didn't want them to see me. I'm thinking there might have been something sort of treasure hidden in the bridge. I'll need you to on lookout while I dig. Come by when you've a mind to, and we'll head over. Hooknose. Ooh. Some sort of interesting treasure? Okay, I'm going to tell you. I want to be able to find a camp so that we can always come here. So, there's some sort of interesting treasure around here. Where is it? This way? Ugh. Can I just say, there's ecological damage happening in this whole zone, and that's unfortunate. There are also dragon damages happening in this whole zone. Also unfortunate. Here? Loot! Oh! We found Mama's ring. We can give it back to the rightful owner. A snow-covered diary. An excerpt from Adeline's diary. A message came today. He said Gerard was killed. He tried to explain to Remy how it happened, but Remy wasn't listening. I had to tell him to leave. I tried to explain to Remy what it all meant, but I don't think he heard me either. He just shivered and asked me to put more wood in the fire. I don't think he understands. Maybe he doesn't want to. I hate this war. Oh. Well, that's sad. Oh, no. War is hell. On all of the people and the kids. Age of Adeline was surprisingly good. Oh. I don't know it. Oh, Letter Home. Is this from Diane? It is. It's from Diane. Del. It is Aldrich, like I told you it would be. Oh, I should check it out. I always know when it's him. I get that prickle at the back of my neck. Maker knows how it happens. It just does. You should have trusted me. I knew he wouldn't let me go. I'm going to lay a false trail, get him away, then double back to come at him from behind. Then I'm going to end him. I'll hope I'll have the opportunity to send this. Maybe I'll find a messenger in Sarnia. I just like writing to you, talking to you. It makes me feel like you're close, like Father's close. He taught us everything he knew about hunting, which gives me the courage I'll need to do what I have to do. Love always, Diane. Oh, that's right. That was the Blake Lively film. I remember seeing the trailers for it. And you said you liked it. If you liked it, then that means I should check it out. Yes, this is true. I have Broian and also Iron Bro in my team. Because who doesn't want them hanging out, causing a little bit of trouble? And also, Saishik the Sage, welcome to... Look, we almost got there. We're gonna... I feel like we might be in a space where we can maybe find the rest of this stuff. This is my hope. Where are we at? We're trying to make it. Cassandra's also our bro. She is awesome. She's Cassandra? Maybe that is her title. I think if we go this way, we'll be able to head in. Oh, so good. Psujik the Sage. Oh. I feel like it's not the best place in the world. But we're gonna just kill some people. Cassandorable! Just a little bit of murder helps everything go better. I think it's really interesting that Iron Bull's always the first into combat, and then he gets killed real fast. Oh, hi. I don't like you. You should leave me alone. We're good. It's alright. It was a false alarm. Everybody's okay. Nobody's dead. Oh, no, there's still some things in there. But we will kill it, and it will be fine. And we did it. Oh, hey, guess what? I leveled up, by the way. I haven't actually leveled up yet, but I have leveled up. Which I think is great.
Bad news, Heron. Your efforts to drive off the Red Templars have not gone unnoticed.
Oh.
Imshale knows we're here. He sent Red Templars after me, and a pack of shades descends now upon Sarnia. The people are defenseless. I must return without delay. It's up to you to destroy Imshale.
Psujik. Do you want it to be Sajik, or... We're gonna go with Sajik. Sajik the Sage. Yay for living! Yeah, okay, Sajik the Sage. Got it. Because I want to pronounce your name right. I don't want to be disrespectful to your name. I think that's important. But remember, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. With great power, there also comes a really large electric bill, I find. No? Yes? No? No? Yes. Oops, wrong button. So let's see where we're at. Okay, we're just going in, but we're going to save first. That's it. We're saving. I am so excited that we found the things. Do you think I should level up my... No, with great power comes giant death nug armies. This is also true, actually. Confirmed. I'm going to level up right now, since I have leveled up and I can do it. This is me. This Inquisitor's all filled up. I'm doing sabotage, and archery. So let's just do, I'm almost all leveled up on my archery, but I don't have explosive shot, so let's pick up that. The mysterious box? Which mysterious box? I'm excited to find out about mysterious boxes. Oh, hey, I can double level up. I didn't even know that. That's really interesting. I feel like I can't wait to level up again, and so I can look at these a bit more in depth. Let's see. I'm level 8 with daggers. Ooh. Sajik, I do love daggers a lot, and so since I often really, really love daggers, I decided to go not daggers this time to, you know, try to mix it up. We're gonna geek the mage right about now. And I'm going to kill them. But, you know, not in a bad way. Oh, look at all the bad guys. Ooh, I'm enjoying all of my explosions and death. This seems great. I like it. We're good. We've murdered a lot of people in a good way. Oh, hey! You should leave me alone. Those bad guys were attacking me. Bows are slow, but you know, I've got patience, and I don't mind, having, like, sort of overview in the background. Like, that's cool. I'm good with it. I can handle it. So, Sajik, something that you should know, I am a hoarder, and I like to pick up all of the treasure all of the time. Just all of the time. Also, you should probably know that Harlequin, who hangs out with us, if you know what it does and love nugs, well, I will find this mysterious box, and then I will reveal it. So we have one of our battle buddies here, Harlequin. She said to me, hey, Emprise de Lyon is too high level for you. And this is true. But we're making, because she is correct, we're making do. There was a dragon that we decided to nope out of because it killed us. In not a subtle way, like in a really unsubtle way. There was just a lot of murder. Gates. Let's see. I feel like... Here we go. And we're gonna just kill that guy. It's cool. Just a little bit of murder, little bit of death. In a friendly, non-confrontational way. Yeah, the Durgans are mean. Stupid Durgans. Clem, get the shotgun. Kill the Durgans. Ooh, a little bit of slowing down. Okay, oh no, we still have people running around. Nope. Hey, rude. Okay, they're all dead. I just want to point out that one of them knocked me over with he did a shield bash on me, which I think is rude. I did not ask to be shield bashed, I did not give consent, and so I disapprove. That is all. Okay, we've pushed forward. We are closer. Get some... What is this? Ugh, these people are not good people. Test notes. We must carefully control exposure to red lyrium. The last one entered a savage frenzy from the lyrium. We had to put it down. Once the red lyrium takes hold, their strength increases, as we expected, but it makes them even more difficult to leash. Until we obtain the creatures in large enough numbers to test different techniques, we will never achieve a reliable method of corruption and control. I have to recommend setting aside the entire experiment. Surely the behemoth serves our purposes. Here's another thing
Someone was busy.
Yes, let's read this one. Test notes. The giant brought from the Emerald Graves last week died this morning. It had received a small injury to the abdomen that eventually killed it. We have only one surviving giant. Unfortunately, the first changes have been promising. I'm hopeful. It must be difficult to capture the creatures without violence, but there's too much at risk in beating them into submission. Breeding them might be feasible. Unfortunately, no one has spotted a female of the species. Reliable levels of corruption. Yep, sure. I don't know, those of you who've had to sort of deal with this at all, if you're going to do interviews with people, you've got to go through IRB, which is the Institutional Review Board, and the Institutional Review Board is a system that looks really distressing, made to ensure that people, when they're doing research on human beings, don't do anything unethical. And I just feel like these people would fail hardcore getting... I just don't think they would get certification or approval from the IRB.
Well executed, Bull. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Seeker. I'd be happy to teach you.
If you had done that in our last sparring match, you might have won.
Then it's time for a rematch.
Oh? They seem to like each other quite a lot, our Iron Bull and Cassandra, which is good. I'm glad that our team is getting along. They were not always doing so. You still want Human Zs? You know, is there anything really wrong with a Human Z? That's the question that I feel like we should all ask ourselves. Because maybe not. Maybe it'll be fine. Alright, we just murderized someone hardcore. And that's okay. So, what I would really like is to set up a camp so we can get here easier next time around. And I don't know if that's possible, but that is what I would like. A Human Z? Hey, what do you think that big, large, giant thing is over there? Let's save. Hey, what's that big, scary-looking, threatening, dangerous thing? Let's save. Because I feel like, we are on our way, my friends. I am... Yeah. Well, I also think it's a big, large giant, and I'm thinking that maybe it's our best friend, and it looks like it's not our best friend. So, with it not being our best friend, and that being super uncomfortable, let's send Cassandra forward, because she always goes late. And then I'm just gonna, it's an infected giant. Immunity, all disabling effects, and its immunity being slowed. Yeah, I hope I fare better against the dragons too. And let's do it. Let's do it. And let's hope that maybe... I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's a huge giant dragon, and that seems inappropriate. And why am I getting injured? Hold on a second. I'm getting injured, and it's the mages. It's the mages, and I don't appreciate that. I'm going to have to put a jar of bees. A Durgan! I'm gonna put a jar of bees on these mages, because I think they would like that. No, I want, yeah? Confirm? Cancel. Jar of bees. Confirm. Go. Jar of bees! So many bees. Let's just... I don't think I can hit them all. I can't see them all. Well, here we go. Jar of bees. And I just got killed! Don't worry, I'll revive me. Ooh. And, this isn't good. We're in a slightly bad space. Jar of Bees is the bee's knees. And this is all true facts. You know what? I need to, none of this is good. Pause. There we go. I'm me now. Are there more? Yeah, we need to kill you. Like, we need to kill you hardcore. Because I don't like you, and you're not my friend. And the mages are killing people, and I don't like it. I think we just have the giant now. Okay, if we can just get the giant down... Ooh! I need more death root, and once I get more death root, then I will include wasps like whoa. And that will be a true statement. I think this giant, we almost got it, right? Why is it picking up rocks? I feel like it shouldn't pick up rocks. I feel like that's rude. Okay, we'll get it. We got it. We got it, my friends. It was not easy. We almost died, but we got it. And we're like humming on all cylinders, everybody. I feel really good about this. I feel less good about how injured Cassandra is. But we are cooking with gas, as they say. Side note, there was a time when cooking with gas was considered great and newfangled because you weren't cooking with wood, but I suppose nowadays it would be you're cooking with electric, maybe? Hey Cassandra, take a potion. Okay. Oh, hey everyone, let's save. Paladin Hunk didn't actually tell me with his voice to save, but I know that psychically he was telling me to save. So I followed his instructions. Because, you know, I listen to my battle buddies when they're giving me good advice. Ooh. Alright. Oh, there's something here. Now we're cooking with nuclear power! Ooh, yes indeed. We'll have to just find a good stopping spot, and then we will go. But I want you to know that I'm thinking lots about all sorts of different RPG systems and seeing what they're like and what they're doing and finding a good way. So I want to tell you what I'm sad about, and that is, oh, can we set up camp here? This does not look like a place we want to set up camp. It looks like really not a place you want to set up camp. So it is about 3 o'clock, which means, ooh, what is this? Hayden, everyone makes you uneasy. Calm down. What I hear is, MCL was sent to help oversee red lyrium growth in the quarry. He supports the cause, and that's all that matters. Keep your nose down, do your job, and don't antagonize him. Connell. I know their tents is the perfect camp. Sure, there seems to be a little bit of, what would you call it? Dead, creepy things in the tents, but that's not bad, is it? Let's see if we can find this thing. So what we're going to do right now is try to find a natural stopping point, and then I will have to do a whole bunch of work, actually, before tomorrow. I've got a master's student who's defending their thesis. Huh. Well, where is this thing we're looking for? I don't know. We're close. Maybe we can climb up this way. Ooh, I think we can. Thank you. Oh, hey. Bottles of Thetis, Abyssal Peach. Not so much filtered as dredged. Should be kept in a cold, dark place. Also locked. Forgotten as well, if one is wise. Ooh, what time does the Pirates of the Caribbean start? Because I want to know so I can plan my day. I've got to get ready for this tournament, That's tomorrow. I've got to do a bunch of reading. I've got to do a bunch of grading. So those are my grading, reading, email. 1 p.m.? Okay. Yes. So if you don't know all the folks who are hanging out, Lauren Bond, aka Random Tuesday, will be streaming Pirates of the Caribbean at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time through Rabbit. And if you're not a member of her Discord, you should join her Discord, because then you can learn all about all the details of it, which I would recommend. I don't know if I can make it because of, having to read a couple hundred pages, like a 100-page thesis. But I should be good otherwise. All right, so let's look at our map. I am a professor. It is true. But I also profess my love of you all, because y'all are great. So all I want for Christmas is my front teeth. South and east. North, south, east. This way. I'm a professor of music history, and I teach popular music studies. So I teach the history of rock and roll, and I teach basically things like that. History of rock and roll, history of African American music. I'm currently teaching a class. We're going to kill these things, if you don't mind. I'm currently teaching a class on 1960s spies, and we just had our very last screening for that class, which we were watching at Soviet spy material. We were looking at, there's another giant, in case anybody wanted to know about that. Another giant. That's worrisome. That's very worrisome. Ooh. Oh, I just got killed in a really rude way. Oh, thanks. Somebody brought me back. What was I going to tell you all? I was right in the middle of a thought. Anyway, yes, I'm gonna focus on killing these people out there. I don't want to be so close to you at all. I want to kill those things far, far away. Durgan Age! Right? Yes! Thank you! So this week we were watching some Soviet spy... Thank you so much, Jer. We were watching some Soviet spy media, and it was and I think that the Soviet spy stuff is really, really interesting. We were watching this film called Four Eyes Only. It's East German. And in that one, of course, the heroes are the East Germans, and the bad guys are the Americans and the West Germans. And it was like, ooh. Look at us, my friends. We are going to find a natural stopping point, and then we will stop soon. I'm very proud of ourselves so far. Durgan Age! Durgan! Get the shotgun! For the Durgan Age! Anyway, yeah, so it's really interesting to see this East German media, right, where the U.S. are the villains and what their spy... Oh, you guys, y'all are so injured. You should take a potion. I should save. Well, it's really interesting because the other spy thing that we are looking at is called 17 Moments of Spring. And 17 Moments of Spring was a 12-part miniseries, Soviet miniseries that was exceptionally popular, really big. And it's actually it's from 1970, early 70s, but it's all about World War II, and it's all about this sort of great Soviet spy who's trying to find out whether or not the Allies are going to sort of make a secret deal with Hitler and try to figure out with whom they were doing it. So it's all about like their heroic sort of participation in World War II. My Lord Ishmael, there's a soldier in Sarnia who calls himself Michel. He arrived last night and has been asking about the keep, and you in particular. He told people you are a demon. Shall we have him retrieved? Connell. Demon? What a frightful thing to call someone. No, leave Michel alone. He made his choice. I look forward to his attempts to follow through. Although I suspect he'll trip on his good intentions and fall down a well inside a week. Imshale. They did. They took the most ground from the Germans. They also had mega massive casualties. They did lots and lots of work. Lots and lots of work. Lots of work. So, see, there's something here. Where is it? I don't see it. Maybe it's above us. If America hadn't gotten involved, the Axis would have won. I don't know about all that. I feel like, that's a complicated one. I feel like America likes to overinflate our... Now, I don't know what would have happened... See, but now, okay, here's a question. What do we mean by involved? Right, what does involved mean? And also, what does the Axis would have won mean? I don't think that Germany would have taken Russia at all. I don't think that would have happened. England might have fallen. But, yeah, lots of questions. So, here we are in the middle of nowhere, and we're not in a space with a good stopping point. Like, we will be, like, maybe for one more battle, try to go a little bit further, see what we got. Oh, bad guys. Hey, Cassandra, I would like you to attack things. Like, the Red Templar Horror. What's your big ability? This one maybe, right? That one? Challenge? Oh, see, the thing is, the Axis were not doing well on the Eastern Front. That was not a place that was doing well for them. So it is a bit of a question what we mean by that. Now, I will say this. If we hadn't been... our Lend-Lease policy, where we were giving lots and lots and lots of supplies to the Allies, that did a lot of work. It's also tricky, right? Because there's so many different fronts that we're talking about, or that we can talk about. Not easy. I will say that the United States tends to overemphasize our role. Oh, hi. Why are you attacking me? I'm just a friend. People should leave me alone. Oh, there are also no more, oh. Can you do a potion? What do we got? We've got some problems. I don't have a lot of health. And I just want to share that situation with everyone. Okay, we are here. I would like you to use your healthy potion on all of us. Oh, there we go. Okay. Whew. So, I mean, I think that if the United States hadn't been involved from the beginning in terms of sort of giving money and funds to the UK, that would have not gone so great for England. Like, I think England was in a the UK was not in the best space. But I don't know. Like, I don't know whether or not they would have actually... I don't know whether or not the Axis would have actually just invaded or not. Like, there are a lot of questions. Also, I just want us to get to a place. And here's why I want to get us to get to a place. It's because I don't want to have to stay here. I know this is vague. I did not use a complete sentence. I'm sorry. Yeah, true enough. And if the Germans finished the E-100, Russia would have been conquered. And regardless of all that, Hitler was growing very unstable and wouldn't have lasted much longer, no matter what. Yeah, I mean, I will just say this about World War II. It could have gone many different ways. There are so many different factors that were involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it was not in any way a foregone conclusion. It was not inevitable. There are a lot of different things that could have happened to have that turn out in a lot of different kinds of ways, and not all of them good. And of course, it wasn't just Germany. There was also Japan. Right? I mean, I just think that was a complicated one. That so many things, weather, technology.
Sorry about your seekers. It's tough when the ones who watch over us abuse that authority.
Yes, it is.
Always happens, though. Nobody can handle secrets all day long without it getting to them.
How do the Ben Hasrath deal with such problems?
If the problem's small, they turn a blind eye. Like I said, it happens.
And if it is too large to ignore?
How do you think I ended up here?
Yeah, I mean, there's Japan, Italy, Germany, but there's also Croatia. Like, there were a bunch of other, and you can sort of put Austria in there. There were other sort of elements that were supportive. Oh yeah, who could have told? Like, and then also, what if the German generals who are not unstable were able to have made a coup earlier? That would have changed things. Like, there were just a lot of things that could have changed everything. Oh, so we're in the keep right now. So let's see. Someone has made notes about the Red Lyrium in Emprise de Lyon. I was in Kirkwall when Meredith died. She drew upon the Red Lyrium in her sword and was consumed by it. Yet here we are, taking power from the Lyrium and still alive. Fournier says, in the early days, many were lost to the madness too quickly. We must use it enough that it changes us, but not so much that it destroys us. He thinks Imshale is the key. He knows something about Red Lyrium. With his help, we can keep the corruption at bay longer. He called himself a gardener. Is that how he sees it? He tends the Red Lyrium, keeping it well fed and growing, not too quickly, not too slowly. I think we need to go out this way. I'm watching our time. I just want us to find a space where we can pause. I wonder what would have happened if Russia didn't have the crazy winter and the Germans came better prepared. Well, you know what's actually releasing it wasn't even just that. It was also they were also slowed down by trying to conquer Yugoslavia, and I mean, so basically all these cascading things that all could have happened in different ways. If they had been able to sort of finish Serbia and that whole sort of area faster, which they didn't, they could have moved into Russia earlier, which then would have given them, they wouldn't have hit the winter in the same way. From the writings of Knight Captain Fournier, we arrived in the highlands at night. I was immediately given the task of overseeing the acquisition and staffing of the Sarnia quarry. I asked the general why we needed a quarry, if the crystals will grow anywhere. Apparently, the Elder One believes the composition of the earth here will ensure that it grows more rapidly and abundantly. I didn't ask why he believes this. The general doesn't like questions. He probably doesn't know. Well, some of my men feel we should take the quarry by force. The general did not specify how as to secure the land, so I'm considering a more subtle approach. Any suspicions we raise will increase the chance of a military investigation, and perhaps even the newly formed Inquisition. We must operate in secret as long as possible. I scouted the quarry yesterday. It is quiet. With the war raging, I expect demand for luxury granite has decreased significantly. A thought occurs to me. So much is gained through commerce. Why not exploit that? And Italy was an ally in the same way Greece was an ally to Rome. Technically a separate entity, but really under the same rule. Yeah. So, do you have the Greater Nugalope mount yet? I don't. I feel like there are all these things I don't have that I clearly need to have. I want to know if there's a campsite that we can set up in this area. That's really all I want to know. I don't want much. I just want a campsite that will allow us to get to a good pause space. Where are we? Ooh, alright, well, let's see if this will get us there. No. A Nugalope? I don't even have a Nugalope. I don't even know what a Nugalope looks like. But it sounds awesome. Ooh. Oh, World War II was such a mess. Yeah. Anyway, this Soviet spy thing set in World War II is really interesting. And what's interesting about it, besides the fact that where are we? Besides the fact that it's interesting to see their side of the space, is that they actually use open. They actually use archival footage from World War II and the Holocaust, sort of tied into the miniseries itself, which that's really interesting. We're gonna save, and if we don't have a good, I just don't want to go into a big, huge monster battle without what is this? Oh, monsters. Without having potions. Like, I feel like I don't want to have any kind of massive major boss battle potionless. I think that would be a bad idea. Hi, you should leave me alone. You should leave me alone. Also, you should leave me alone. Also, leave me alone. Oh, you just killed me. They just killed me. Just like full of death. That was super rude. Revive. Revive. Okay, I'm back. This is what happens when you don't have, I would like someone to help me out by pulling aggro. That would be really awesome. Somebody pull aggro. That is a big red lyrium thing that has creepy red lyrium powers in ways that I do not approve of. Yeah. Cassandra. Alright. Okay. So, do you want to know the real reason why I want to just find a camp? At a new save point? Full disclosure, honestly, full disclosure, because I just feel like it was just really good luck we found our way here in the first place, and we just went through all of this, we went through a whole location, and I feel like having to backtrack all the way would be less exciting, but I also feel like we are not fully equipped to take on a big boss with our health the way it is. So these are my concerns. Those are my feelings. Are we? Well, or maybe we have we done it? I don't know. Come on, folks. Good. We're looking for a good pause point because there are things happening soon for all of us that need to be taken care of. Oh, look, a supply crate. Hold on. Hi, all of my friends. Let's get us all together. And let's have you use your healing potion on all of us. And then let's use this supply crate. All of our supplies are replenished. Well, you know what I mean. Not all of them. I killed a dragon with 0 potions by abusing Solus's revived spirit. Oh, Solus and I are not really hanging out a lot because he doesn't approve of me because I'm Dalish, and he gets kind of attitude-y about it. You know, like, I mean, I'm just noting he gets kind of a little bit weird about it. Where are we at? I feel like we're at the end shards capturing... Okay. I think what we're going to do is we're going to just try to close these 4 things and finish them off and see if we can get them done right away. Because if we can, then I think we'll both basically be done with Emprise de Leon, and then we can go back and feel good about it. So, let's try to do it. Let's try to rock this and push it through, and then be done with it, more or less. And if we go back, it's all for just very small things and not big things. So let's see. Hi, Imshale.
The hero arrives.
Yep.
But is it hero or murderer? It's so hard to tell.
You're the demon called Imshale.
Choice spirit.
Talky ones. I hate the talky ones.
Wait. These are your friends?
Mm-hmm.
They're very violent. It's worrying. True to my name, I will show you that you have a choice. It doesn't always have to end in blood.
Okay, what's the choice?
Talk. That's how they get you.
Simple. We don't fight, and I grant you power. Shower you with riches.
Oh.
Maybe virgins. Your pick. Then we all live happily ever after. Well, not all of us, but who's counting?
Right. So let's see. I can take virgins, power, or riches, or I can kill him. How about if we kill him?
No. You die, demon.
Alpha. Choice spirit. If you won't be smart, be afraid.
Oh, hey. That's awesome. And by awesome, I mean bad. There are a lot of things. I just died. I need to revive myself. And then I need to come back over here. This is bad. I'm not quite certain what kind of demon he is, actually. But it was a rude one. There's a lot of badness happening right now. And I just want to sort of share that there's a lot of badness happening right now. I think he's some kind of mega demon. Yeah, no, not concerning at all. Not at all concerning. I think if we can take him down, we'll be okay. Maybe. Alright, what do we have? Oh, no, he's... Oh, hey! Oh, hi! Oops! Hi, everybody! Surprise! Ooh. That... You know, you think you're done, and then it turns out you're not done. Mega Demon. Yeah. In a not good way. Yeah. I'm not super excited about all that. Oh, hi. See, as an archer, I get to sort of have, battlefield overview. We just need to get him down. I don't know. Ooh. This guy. This isn't even my... Ooh. I think we got him, everybody. We got him. That was... We got him. Oh. Alright. By the way, we're just gonna finish this. Oh, he's a fear demon. Interesting. I wasn't afraid of him. I mean, he was trying to tempt me. I thought he might have been a desire demon, maybe. But apparently not. Oh. All now fated for her. Find the spirit with solace in the Emerald Plains.
Cassandra, I owe you an apology.
Oh.
Apologize to me? For what?
For judging your seekers. Considering my feelings on Tevinter, I shouldn't throw stones.
That is remarkably decent of you, Dorian.
Oh.
It was fun to goad you. You get this little knot between your eyebrows. See? There it is. Delightful.
Continue on this path and we'll see if it remains such.
Actually, that's a good question. Since I am playing as a rogue myself, I don't actually know, since I just tend to... Since I'm a rogue archer, I just take care of all that myself, so I actually don't know what is a better choice? That is a very good question. I don't know. If somebody else who doesn't play as a rogue archer might know, that would be good. There is something to get here, but I don't see it. Folks, I'm going to tell you we are almost done, I think. I think we have very little left to do. And I'm in Emprise de Lyon. Oh, Sarah. Oh. Alright. Quest map. What is this? I don't know. But we will save. And then we will just go. Go, go. Go, go, gadget. Alright. Let's go through the open doorway. Oh. Huh. Do you use...
Is he gone? The demon is finally gone.
Yep.
It won't be long now. Delirium's taken him.
What was he doing?
Why was the demon here, working with the Red Templars?
A garden needs a gardener. Nurturing gentle hands. Directing the change. Not too fast. Not too slow. Just right. Has to be just right.
So you tend to red lyrium like a horticulturist. Interesting, if repulsive.
I am sorry.
There's nothing I can do for you. I'm sorry.
Imshale. He said he could take the red out. If I said yes.
Oh.
Imshale could have saved you?
He liked to watch the agony. He liked to play.
Oh.
We were his garden. Consent and live. Deny and be consumed. Oh, but what he wanted. No. Anything but that. I chose the red. I chose.
I wonder what he wanted. Huh. You know, I actually assume I just assume that they're not really going to do anything with the potions unless I make them. So, let's place this Inquisition flag. Hey! We've done it. We've taken this keep. We have done a big thing, folks. We just worked all the way through that. It looks like they're just two small things we have to pick up, and then we can close for the day. I'm really proud of all of us together. And maybe one day we'll come back and get that dragon? Maybe not today. See, what I've noticed is that you can have them deal with oh, nice. So here's what I noticed though about in the behaviors table, I noticed that the only thing you can sort of deal with is how they deal with the health potions, but not the other flasks, and that was frustrating. What is this? Craft weapons? Oh, this is like a full-on keep. Craft armor. Inspect requisition. Upgrade potions. Oh, this is like modify armor. This is like a full-on keep. This is not like mini keep. This is like the real deal. Oh, wow. All right. Yeah, so all I was saying was that I did not and collect shard. I think we should keep this keep. I like it. But there is, oh, a thing to read. Trading with Kal Sharok. Who's speaking? Let's find out first so I know what voice to use. On meeting Nova Surhad, Journals of Ser Ervain Abernash, Noble Merchant Scholar. Yeah, only HP flasks, but I'm certain they're so focused on abilities. Yeah, so basically, I've modified them to take their health potions when they need it, but then I just have to sort of go in personally and remember to have them do the other flasks. Sort of irritating. Let's see. Let's go with... Okay, this is our Merchant Scholar, who's also a noble. My approach was carefully observed. This was not a tag unused to watching its boundaries. I got the impression that if I'd been one of his Orzammar cousins, our meeting would have been swift and bloody. That is, if I'd been allowed to find the passage at all. As it was, he was polite and efficient, and he knew well the current market for everything he offered. Clearly, their isolation is not because of fear, and certainly not disinterest, Among his wares, I saw the latest fabrics of Val Royeaux and volumes by a free marcher poet 3 centuries dead. This only added to my doubt of the official year of Cal Sharrock's rediscovery as declared by the Assembly of Orzammar. I didn't mention this to my host. As curious as I was, there was an undercurrent I found unsettling. I must stress that he and his helpers were professionals and honest throughout. But there was something I can't describe. While he remained hooded the entire time, he looked me square in the eye when our deal was struck, unashamed. I lived through a time of blight. I felt the gaze of a grave warden and seen the corruption of his prey. Why I remembered both in that moment I still can't explain. On meeting Nova Sturmhald and Cal Sharrock, excerpted from the journals of Sarah Vane Abernash, noble merchant scholar. Okay.
Oh, your worship, welcome.
Oh, there's a baron.
Of Leeds.
Hi.
I am pleased to meet you. Ambassador Montillier speaks highly of you.
So, let's investigate. You know Josephine well?
You seem to know Josephine quite well.
Oh, yes. Yves Montillier, Josephine's father, is an old friend. We used to hunt together. I watched her grow up. You know.
Thank you. Thank you, Sajig.
She could charm wolves to dance with hares. I am gratified to see the Inquisition has not overlooked her talents.
And what are your duties?
What is your role here, Baron?
Oh, well, the ambassador entrusted me with handling the Inquisition's enterprise in the Dales. Much of our efforts are concentrated on rebuilding, eradicating threats, reopening trade routes and such. And of course, I will oversee the forging of relations with the nobles of Southern Orlais.
So what's going on?
Any news, Baron?
Judicale's crossing has been rebuilt, thanks to our combined efforts. Scouts have spotted a dragon flying through the hills.
And it's dangerous.
If there's a high dragon ready to spawn, there is reason for concern.
Yep.
I shall take my leave.
Yep. So, here's what we've got, my friends. Oh, why is this... I still want to know why there is an exclamation point, as if we have a quest that is hanging out and I don't know what it is. And I don't know why it's there. It's very distressing to me. Let's quest map it. It doesn't tell us what it is. Merchant. It's just sort of sitting there, taunting me. As if I should know what it is, but then I don't know. Erg. So, my friends, what we're going to do, although I just cannot see it, we're going to go back to Skyhold, we're going to check in our war table, and then we're going to close up for the day. It's a little bit longer, but we had to finish this big quest area, which we did, which is really exciting. And let's do it. Let's go. Turns out I've got a lot of other things we can take care of later, which I'm excited about. But let's go to Skyhold. And let's go to Skyhold, let's go to our war table, let's send people off on missions, and then close up. So exciting. Hey, I'm really glad that all of you are here with me to go through the basically like the big closing of Emprise de Lyon. That was awesome, and I appreciated all of the support and also all of the discussion about progression in games and how it works and what we think about it. I'm excited to see, I just would like to see more games that do different things, either no progression or more progression or, I don't know, all sorts of things that I think could be possible and interesting. And also the Durgans. We're going to come back to this Durgan later, not now. That's all. We're just gonna do our wrap up, and when I hang up with you all, I'm going to go and sell all of my loot, because you know I don't need to do that with you guys here. Right? I agree. I think that would be. I just think it's interesting, like the different ways in which we sort of think about progression in a game and how games have worked about trying to do it. Yeah. So here we are at our war table, and I think we have maybe some people who have checked in with us. Oh, hey, we have an extra perk, which the last time I thought it would be really important to have more inventory space because I'm a hoarder. Extra herbs, acquire forward scouts, extra additional landmarks and points of interest, tier 1 stuff. So those things aren't bad. Let's look Inquisition. We could get history knowledge. We could get 1 combat ability point for the Inquisitor. Connections. What can we get? Nobility knowledge, sterling reputation, which is about money, favor for a favor, more discounts, rare stocks. Inquisition procurers can leverage the organization's reputation to purchase a supplement of rare and valuable raw materials. Oh, yeah, me too. I'm excited for the next Dragon Age. Whatever it will be, I'm excited for it. And then Connections is not so exciting for me. What is this going to give us? Underworld knowledge, XP for killing foes. That may not be bad. Praise the sun. Acquire. So resistance to being unseated. Second tier focus effects for abilities can now be triggered. Huh. Well, that seems like it could be good. Advanced focus. More healing potions, mage schematics, new rare schematics, more schematics. Why don't we try master focus? Oh, it requires advanced focus. Let's try advanced focus. Oh, you think the XP one? I feel like XP is always good because you level faster. But second tier focus effects for abilities can now be triggered. That seems like it would be really good. So I think we're going to just go with that one because I think it might give us special powers. And I think... Oh, sorry. I didn't want to back out. I just... Oh, wait. Oh, I wanted... Oh. We're going to have to go back in. Sorry. I just want to see... See, XP, the thing is, Paladin, I'm super tempted by the XP one, but I think that other one might give us extra abilities to unlock, or better abilities, and so I think we'll get that one now, and we'll get the XP one next time. Like, I get why you said that, PH, and I was also thinking that myself. It was something that was on my mind. But if there's a dragon, I think we'll do that, but the very next perk we get is going to go for that XP one. Because I think it's also good. A friend in Quaranus, or Quaranus. My Lord Inquisitor, who's saying this? Magister Miveris Talani. Oh, my Lord Inquisitor, considerable as your support has been, I'm saddened to report my motion died on the Senate floor. Although I'm hardly surprised. My fellows in the Magisterium don't enjoy the thought of having their freedom limited in any fashion. That was, however, hardly the point of the motion. It was a statement that needed to be made, and your support allowed me to make it far louder and clearer than I ever would have on my own. So, I thank you. With any luck, this will draw support from those who feel as I do. It will also draw fire from Venatori cultists still in the shadows, but I say, let them come. I will not back down in the face of such fools. I'm sending along a few things which I hope will aid your efforts, and we'll see what more I can drum up. Give my love to Dorian. The poor boy is such a hothouse orchid. He must be wilting in the cold. Magister Miveris Talani. Teventa Resistance. That sounds good. A continue investigation. A letter to Liliana with information on the Orlesian. She and the elf are the two members of the Bells who practice magic. She has on occasion purchased exotic dragon-related ingredients from the Tal Vashoth, although it is unclear whether the Tal Vashoth gets them through hunting or smuggling. So we are closing in on some... Let's see what we have here. The Teventa Resistance. I received some news from Miveris. It seems her little resistance has drawn support, just as she hoped it would. Thing is, that support comes in the form of idealistic magisters with no real power, while the ones who might see her group as a threat are the true heavy hitters. Reading between the lines, I say Miveris is in more hot water than she lets on. I'd love a pet Snoufler. She's crafty, but she could use more help right about now, or the resistance might die in the vine. Up to you, but if you ask me, any enemies of the Venatori should be friends of ours, Dorian. Alright, since we're not going to play for another week, we need to send somebody good on this. Josephine says, the Inquisition is now a force to be reckoned with, even in Deventer. Openly declare our support for the resistance. Liliana, allow me to handle this. Eliminate one of her enemies, and the rest will believe she can strike at them with impunity. They will back off. Send some Templars north, disguise of course. Real Templars, so who can disrupt magic. This should be all the help she needs. Let's have Liliana do her thing. I think that she would be good at that. Sending a little bit of assassination, and I think my character likes to assassinate people. So, identify the Venatori agent. An excerpt from a Ben Hasworth information report. All information about the 5 bells of Hunterfell has come back negative. The Talva Shoth is not the bard, the elf is not the Mortalitazi, and the dwarf is not the smuggler. And an addendum. We have learned that the Ferelden is the Venatori agent, but unless we can link her to a specific background quickly, we will lose this lead. We must remove... This is a 15-hour task. We must remove the target immediately to stop Duke Tithys from falling prey to Venatori interests. 15 hours, right? So Liliana cannot do it because she's busy. Josephine, have Ironbolt tell the Ben Hasworth to eliminate the bard, the smuggler. Have Ironbolt tell the Ben to take down the... Oh my gosh! So so this is like a choice we have to make about which one is the one. We have to identify the agent. How? Oh, what? Okay, hold on. So, all information about the 5 bells of Hunterfell has come back negative. The Talva Shoth is not the bard. The elf is not the Mortalitazi, and the dwarf is not the smuggler. We have learned that the Ferelden is the Venatori agent, but unless we can link her to a specific background quickly, we will lose the lead. We must remove the target immediately. So the Ferelden is the Venatori agent. The Talva Shoth is not the bard. The elf is not the Mortalitazi, and the dwarf is not the smuggler. The Ferelden is the Venatori agent. So the bard should not be it, right? Because the bard is Talva Shoth. Okay, hold on. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, and this could take us 22 hours, 20 hours. You know what? I think I need all 3 available. So I think that I cannot choose this one yet because I want all 3 choices. Puzzles for the win, and I don't want to engage in this one until we have all 3 people open. So let's send our other 2 agents off to do something different until we get back next week. And then when we get back next week, we will set that off. I think that's what we'll have to do. Resources. Gather leather? Really? Gather Empress alone. Gather cloth. What is this? Restore the crossing, which we did. Make a contact in the Emerald Graves. At your word, I'll send emissaries to meet with Fairbanks. This we'll have to just come back to. Let's see. Oh, wait. A golden opportunity. That looks like a thing. Inquisitor. My, how things have changed. When we first arrived at Skyhold, we would have been lucky to have the elite Halam Shiral even acknowledge our presence. Now that we've occupied Sillidan Keep and can no longer be ignored, a group of merchants and noblemen have approached me with a proposal. They say that since the Inquisition is currently a better place to keep order in the Dales than even the Imperial throne, they would like to set up a consortium of sorts. An Inquisition ambassador at their side will, according to them, aid communication and allow us to keep their interests safe even as they promote ours. It's worth considering, your worship. Oh, well, let's have her send the ambassadors. She'll do it. And I think maybe everybody's busy? No? we've got one person who's available, and I think it's Cullen. Hinterland Resources, Black Emporium. What is this? Cullen, yeah, Cullens are one last. Oh, voices on the winds speak of a new power abroad in the world. Inquisition, they whisper, an ancient name restored, a memory rekindled and transformed into a blaze of hope. I hear the whispers and summon the fires of the Inquisition, here on the depths beneath the city of chains. Countless mysteries hide in shadow in anticipation of their light. Come, the Black Emporium awaits. Xenon, the antiquarian, must spend his days composing melodramatic invitations to his establishment. I imagine being stuck in a chair for centuries leaves one somewhat lacking for entertainment. This particular message was hand-delivered by a cloaked figure at twilight, precise as the sun disappeared beneath the peaks. My men spied the courier lurking about our outer gates for at least an hour, waiting for sunset. The servant under command of some very specific instructions, I assume. That aside, I would encourage a visit to the Black Emporium. The antiquarian's hoard is legendary. Only those he deems worthy ever lay eyes on it. The champion of Kirkwall received an invitation once and reported, among other things, a strange mirror that could transform even flesh and bone. Who knows? We may uncover something that aids in the battle against Corypheus. Liliana. Yes, it is. I don't want to go there, though. Oh, good. It's just unlocked. The ship has been secured. Be wary of what you find in the Black Emporium, Inquisitor. I've heard many frightful tales. I do not want to travel forth right now, because we are, let's just send Cullen to get some Crestwood resources, shall we? That'll keep him busy, and that will be the end of our session. That will be it. So, I want to thank everyone for being here. Thanks for being here a little bit longer to allow us to finish up Emprise de Lyon. It has been great being here with you all. Let us save. In about 10 minutes, the Lauren Legion will be watching a film, Pirates of the Caribbean. So everybody, go ahead and watch that if you like. If you are not a member of the Lauren Legion on the Discord, then you should become one. And I will see you all later. Thanks, Battle Buddies. I will see you next Thursday. Oh, I should tell you all something kind of terrible. It's really bad. I have got 2 Saturdays in a row where I cannot make stream. So I'll be doing my Thursdays with no problem, but I'm going to have to figure out what to do about the next 2 Saturdays or so. But, that said, I will see you all on Thursday for more Orwell. Take care, everybody, and have a great rest of the weekend. Ciao!